44 between 23 and 19. Left lane will be closed for another half hour or so. Same deal in Windsor Locks on 91. Northbound between 42 and 44. That has been right lane work there. They've been doing maintenance on Route 3 south in Glastonbury along the Putnam Bridge. And down in New Britain, crews have been in the area of 72 east between exits 2 and 1C. We do have a crash to report in Plainville on 72 west between exits 4 and 5. That is in the right lane. Meteorologist Jason Caterina has the forecast.
Well, the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy, turning colder as the clouds give way to some sun, the high of 43. Breezy and much colder tonight, though, increasing clouds, the low only down to 15, and going to feel like it's well down in the single digits at best with a strong northwest wind. Then for Wednesday, a mostly cloudy day. It'll be colder, the high of 31. Mostly cloudy for Wednesday night, the low down to 17. That sets the table for Thursday morning. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain in the morning with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, then occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon. Roads could be slick for that morning commute, the high of 34. Then on Friday, we'll get windy with a mix of clouds and sunshine. The high 38 is going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best most of the day with a strong west-northwest wind. Mostly cloudy Saturday, the high of 33, though less windy. Intermittent snow and sleet Sunday morning. It'll be milder in the afternoon with the high 43. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, we currently have 39 degrees right now in Hartford under partly sunny skies. Dow up 132 points. NASDAQ's ahead 228 and the S&P's up 40. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey everybody, Tom Shattuck here. This Sunday is the big game. Don't blame me. This would be much easier if I could just say this has finally come. Parties, football,
Check 1, 2.
food, all the festivities we welcome every
Holla,
February.
holla.
Question is, what if you're trying
What up? What up?
to still enjoy watching this?
Of course, I got my
friends?
phone
The
call
answer,
today.
Nothing.
Oh, hold on. Janine's in area.
For real life
No, it's
scenarios.
no
The reason I
secret.
lost my 80 pounds, the program works. And another thing that's really important to me, this is not a big pharma experimental serum that you're taking or anything. There's no syringes involved. This is just good natural eating. Eat wings and meatballs while watching the have a beverage while betting on the live your life while enjoying the I think you get the point. Whether you're in the weight loss phase or in free lifelong maintenance, Awaken 180 won't get in the way of enjoying the big game. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. 844-346-1800.
Hi, I'm Liam.
1 minute.
Now playing for a championship team. One shot can change the game and build momentum. You work hard to excel at what you can do best. You turn challenges into success. Teamwork and preparation are the bricks that build a strong, winning foundation. With Brown, Panderis, and Scott, you hire a team of lawyers that listen and successfully address all your legal needs. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com.
Connecticut hospitals care for more than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true. The audience.
Reese is also listening.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
How we doing out there everywhere, scallywags, and all of you nutmeggers across the fruited plain. We are going to have an explosive show for you today. Only because I have to tell, I was going to do this little segment where I was going to play the old Jermaine Jackson record, Don't Take It Personal. Don't take it personal. I kind of have a personal story here, and I would have never told this story if not for the Sacramento Bee. And I know that, look, I'm going to deal with local stuff today. I'm going to deal with that because I got to get into this Governor Lamont thing with the $54 million or what is it, billions of dollars? How much money is the governor ready to waste now? $54 million. And of course, the special ed program. I heard Brian and company talking about it a little bit, but we'll get into that. But this story lends itself to something I've been talking about forever on this program and many others. For over 20 years, yours truly, your humble host, has told you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, never, and I mean never, trust the civil rightser. I'm sorry. The days of Martin Luther King Jr. are over. And it is unfortunate because today it is nothing more than a grift. And the reason why it's a grift is because of bitterness. Bitterness in the heart and soul. Now, I want you to think about this. And this goes for Black Lives Matter, the Urban League, the NAACP. Listen to them and the way in which they talk. When you start hearing the civil rightser start talking about what the white man does, well, the white man do that all the time. Well, the white people do that all the time. You ever see what them white people do? That's what the white people do. That is nothing more than the civil rightser giving themselves license to do the same thing. When someone says to you, well, look at the white man. The white women been doing it all for. When they start pointing the fingers, it means don't look over here because I'm doing the same thing. Now, I say that because I've been in these relationships and I've listened to these people talk. We used to have an old saying back in the 90s, and I got it from a good friend of mine, Colin. Colin says, when I hear a black man say, hey, brother, I grab two things. I grab my wallet and my heart. Because that man is coming for one or the other, and sometimes both. So there's an article that came out in the Sacramento Bee a couple of weeks ago, and unfortunately, folks, I'm somewhat related to this story because of one, the whistleblower, and two, the person who is a subject of the article. It doesn't need to be even conveyed, but you can look up the article yourself, and in fact, you know what, it's not even worth me saying, but let me just put it to you like this. One day, yours truly got called. Earlier last year, somebody called and said, Reese, I need you to come on the show. We're going to have a person on the show, and I need you to rake them over the coals. Now, the reason why I was asked, or commissioned for that matter, to debate this person, because the person was running for mayor of Sacramento. And I, as everyone knows, cannot stand the black politician, especially the liberal leftist black politician. I draw a lot of ire from that group. You want to know why? Because they're made in a factory. A leftist black politician is like any other. They are the worst string quarterback. They are the worst. They have the worst batting average. They fail in comparison on politics, and they don't know what they're talking about. The only thing that they repeat is more money and more access. They don't have a plan. They've never thought of a plan. They just keep repeating the same old tropes. And a woman by the name of Flo Coffer was one of those. And I got called, hey, Flo Coffer's running for mayor of Sacramento. I need you to rake her over the coals. In essence, challenge her, to which I did. I got on the air of this podcast that I had been a part of for 11 years, and I went after and challenged Flo Coffer and went over and over and over about her feckless leadership and her ridiculous ideas. She turned out to be like every other black politician, a closet Marxist and communist. No different than any other black liberal. No different. Redistribution of wealth. The white man is this, the white man is that. We need more education in the black community. Not what kind, just repeating and rinse and repeat the same nonsense. Now, with all of that, because of the host of the show and asking me to come on there and pretty much railroad the woman, that created animus with Flo Coffer. So it was surprising to find out that Flo Coffer was at a city council meeting announcing that she had been bribed, saying that she would be bribed if she, let's say, went along to get along. And the person that she accused of bribing her turned out to be somebody that I knew and what I considered a friend, a compadre, a person who I had contentious relationships with because me being a conservative black man, I was catering to the white man. I was a sellout. I hated myself, and I had never done anything for the black people, which is absurd. But this was contentious. And again, my animus grew for this individual because I knew deep down inside there was nothing more than a grift. Where do we end up today? Well, we get a full-page article in the Sacramento Bee that proves just that. Sadly enough, we find out that there's all kind of money movement, all types of evading taxes, allegedly, all types of taxpayer funds going to quote-unquote black organizations with no accountability. Sudden raises from $44,000 to $155,000 in a year. All of this while the so-called black activist is calling me the sellout. Streets named after them, real estate given to them, all by non-blacks. All of this. Pay to play, $70,000 to radio stations to promote politicians on their shows. All of this. Disgusting, despicable, underhanded. When asked about that, immediately deflected to other organizations that received money. Interesting. Remember what I said in the beginning. The white man does it. The white man's doing it. The white man did it. Which is nothing more than license for you to do it. No more than that. I told you this a long time ago, and I'll repeat this again. Anyone who pushes you to suggest that you're supposed to behave a certain way because of who you are and what you stand for is probably running the grift themselves. People have a tendency to say things and do the opposite. And I knew that from the get-go. It was 6 months ago I said to my ex-wife, I know this Negro is on the take. I stand by that, thanks to the Sacramento Bee. Because again, nothing is pure in the civil rights movement. It never is. It is bitterness, it is retribution, it is redistribution. This today codifies what I believe, what I will always believe. The civil rights movement will make no inroads in the black community. It will save no life because these people are in it for themselves, and they will use black people or minorities, be it immigrants or women or whatever the case is. They will do it to line their own pockets. They are users. They are pathetic users. And they need to get right with God. Don't get right with me. Don't get right with anybody else. Get right with God. You can turn it around. Every one of them can turn it around. I'm talking to you, Black Lives Matter 860. I'm talking to you. NAACP of the greater Hartford or Connecticut area. I'm talking to you. This is the reason why I'll never give you folks play. This is the reason why I'll always push back. Because when you're sitting around here talking to guys like me, telling me that I'm a traitor to my race, while you use them to line your pockets, you got nerve. I will stand by who I am. But here's the beauty of it. And I don't mean the virtue signal here. So if I sound like I am, trust me, come at me. I take it all. But I don't give a damn about lining my own pockets. I don't give a damn about this notoriety. I don't want anybody writing any articles about me. I don't want anybody praising me in the street. I don't need it. I'm uncomfortable with people calling this show telling me how great I am. I'm always nervous about that because it isn't about them. It is about you. I've been trying to uplift black women in this country forever. I've been trying to uplift young black men forever. While they continue to tell me that I'm a sellout and a fraud and a huckster and a charlatan. While they stand behind people like this, who use them up, wring them out, and can't be heard from after they're done with you. Trayvon, Mike Brown, George Floyd, the whole lot of them. Footnotes to turn people into millionaires where they can buy houses and brag about their wealth. And then show up when the cameras are on so they can find another company to fleece. All of them should be ashamed of themselves. And my former friend too, who I know is listening. I wish I could say you had this coming, but you didn't. You brought this on yourself. Because again, you did this. You're responsible. And I'm not dancing on your grave. I don't wish to. Do I take it a little personal? Maybe. But I only take it personal because I think of all the people who got fleeced. I think of all the black people and the minorities who got jilted. I think about the people who actually really paid the price. What was done in their name while they got nothing. While you use them and use your platform and use who you are for your own personal gain. Not one person I've ever helped in my life can ever say that I ever took a dime from them. And I never asked for a finder's fee. I've never asked for some sort of compensation. I believe in helping, true help. And when I can, I do. I hope that many of you who are in this business get to that. Jesus was a poor man. Jesus could have been as wealthy as anybody else in the world with the amount of people he helped, but he was a poor man. He was a humble man. And all of us need to get a little bit closer to that, because that's who we're always screaming for at the end of the day. What would Jesus do? Grifters. I feel saddened by this because I know a lot of people, they probably think that the person isn't getting a fair shake. But I'm going to use a little bit of an analogy here. I'll give you a perfect example. Because I know the people who are looking at all of this and they're saying to themselves, well, Reese, we don't know whether or not any of this is true. I'm not arguing that. I've seen the paperwork. That's all I need to see. Paperwork says it himself. The journalist who did the article in Sacramento Bee is an Emmy Award-winning journalist who has a lot of heads on his mantle for the careers that he's actually taken down for corruption. So I'm just going to leave that there. But I want to take this to show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to go into something that you would probably know. When the first stories about P. Diddy came out, there were plenty of people in the African American community who defended P. Diddy. And people said, Man, they just doing that because he's a black man with $1 billion. Because he's a rich black man, and them white people, they don't want nothing to do with having a black man having that kind of prominence. And I said, wait a minute. Did you not see the black woman he dragged on the floor and kicked? Did you not see the woman that he abused? That was a black woman. How is the white man trying to destroy him while he beats a black woman on a hotel floor in a towel? He stomped on her. He threw a vase at her. A vase for some people. He threw a vase at her. And people were defending the black man who was unjustly being attacked in the media. I was looking at it from, they had no respect for the black woman who was being abused in this scenario. None. But then when all the stories started coming out, sure enough, people did exactly what they do. They started running for the hills. I want no parts. I want no parts. I want no parts. I got nothing to say about that. Well, par for the course in this case. Par for the course in this case. I only talk about this because, again, I feel personally affected because this is somebody that I knew. This was somebody that I considered a friend. And as far as I'm concerned, this is somebody who lied to me, too. This is a person who got me to contribute to his causes financially. And when you believe in somebody and they let you down like this, in this kind of way, it's bone chilling. It's harmful. And it makes me apprehensive to ever help out another person in this position again. Because as I said in the beginning, when I hear these civil rightsers talk about black this and black that and the white man this and the white man that, nope. Whatever it is they're pointing out, they're doing the same thing. I hear a couple of people in the chat room are saying, is he going to send you? Yeah, I can say his name. I just don't think it's necessary to mention Jay King of the Club Nouveau group. The story's in the Sacramento Key if you're interested, Sacramento Bee, if you're interested in reading the full page 1750 word article. It's a very, very damaging testament to where we are in this so-called civil rights, DEI, Black Power movement. We are changing our way of life for what? So that people can line their pockets so they can make people feel guilty about the race that they're in because they're not in the prescribed race or they don't have the ideology that they're supposed to have. While everybody else is lining their pockets and going home in their Mercedes and BMWs. I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it. And it's always going to be my mission in life to free the slaves. That's why I'm the Frederick Douglass of the 21st century. It's not all that tongue-in-cheek. We'll take a break. We'll take your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an iced coffee from somewhere else, now is a great time to reconsider.
Wake up to a warm sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50 and add your favorite any size iced coffee in caramel, black, or French vanilla for just $1.29 during breakfast hours only. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Norwalk police have released an update on an accident in which a man was struck by a police cruiser while riding a bike just after 6 Monday evening. The detective was headed east on Connecticut Avenue in an unmarked vehicle. Police say he had a green light when he struck Manuel Bonilla Gomez, who was traveling south on Clinton Avenue against a red light. Bonilla Gomez died as a result of the collision. That crash remains under investigation. Ordinance Committee in Bristol set to meet later this evening to further discuss the prospect of putting red light cameras at certain city intersections. There was a meeting last month on all this. City and police officials say one of the chief complaints they receive is about speeding vehicles and other dangerous driving. Meeting gets underway at 5 this evening. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has cleared his first hurdle to become the nation's top health official as the Senate Finance Committee voted to advance his nomination for a floor vote, that on a 14-13 committee vote. Meantime, Senate committee has advanced Tulsi Gabbard's nomination as the Director of National Intelligence. FBI agents who participated in investigations related to President Trump have sued over Justice Department efforts to develop a list of employees involved in those inquiries that agents fear could be a precursor to discipline or termination. State Republican lawmakers unveiling a number of tax relief proposals they say is aimed at lowering costs for middle-class families and job creators. Governor Lamont unveils his two-year budget on Wednesday. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Jason Caterina has the forecast.
For the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, clouds will give way to some sun. It'll be breezy and turning colder, the high of 43. Breezy and much colder tonight with increasing clouds, the low down to 15. Then mostly cloudy and colder Wednesday, the high only 31. Heading into our Thursday, snow, sleet, and freezing rain in the morning with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, then occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon, the high 34. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And for these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
College sports hold a mythic place in American culture. But sometimes the drama off the court overshadows the action on it.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything, including some of the biggest scandals in college sports. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
What you
Et
doing
cela
in
ne
there?
prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000,
Casey!
we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health.
1 minute.
Love
Thank
is
you,
the
sir.
light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and on your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Northeast Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Northeast Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office,
10.
800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Lean on me. We are not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
Do you guys remember that? I know you do. And here's the irony of that. Just yesterday, Roland, who was I quoting? You asked me, did I quote somebody on the air yesterday? What did I quote? Do you remember?
Yeah, from the Lean On Me movie.
From the Lean On Me movie. That's the title track from the group Club Nouveau. And I said yesterday, just yesterday, I said, they used to call me Crazy Joe. Now they call me Batman. And I was talking about, Joe Clark, Principal Joe Clark from East Side High in New Jersey. Of course, Morgan Freeman played that role in the movie Lean On Me. And of course, that was the title track from the film, from the Bill Withers Lean On Me song. Anyway, by Club Nouveau. The guy I'm talking about, Jay King, is the one who remixed that song. And again, I met him by accident back in 2013. And, again, like I said, we became good friends talking politics and pop culture and all that other stuff. And we had a lot of contentious stuff and sometimes like flat out fights. And it became personal where I was just, making my case. And it was always, oh, you hate the black man and you hate black women. And it was all this other stuff. And I was just sitting there going, it's like, okay, dude. And it just went south. And then to hear this, it's just like, dude, like I was supposed to be the one that's supposed to be fleecing blacks. You took that away from me. I'm teasing. Allegedly. I'm sorry. That's just me. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Rob in Meriden. How we doing, sir?
Yes, hello. I just had a question about the news lately and, the tragedy with someone getting hit. And they had a similar thing in Canton, Massachusetts, where a guy had a fluorescent vest on. And he was hit in Canton, Massachusetts by, I think it was a chief or something. And when push comes to shove, after the investigations got all done, guess what happened?
I'm assuming that the cop got away with it, Rob.
That's in Canton, Mass. And I don't make the news. I'm not saying I report it. I just read it and retain it.
Rob, it's okay. I understand. You've got an animus.
But
I know
anyway,
a guy just like you. I know a guy just like you.
Sometimes they shouldn't bother doing any investigations because we already know the outcome. And
here's the thing. What I don't understand, Rob, this is something. Look, and I'm saying this in the kindest and most.
Because there was a tragedy. Somebody died.
Stop interrupting me, please. I'm trying to help you here. This is something
you don't gotta help me. You got to help yourself, dude.
Okay. I tried. Okay? I tried. He's off. He's done. He's just finished. I tried. Sometimes I want to be helpful, but I just can't be. But it's okay. You can't help them all. I want to give a round of applause to my next caller, a good friend of mine, Courtney Ann from Real and Raw out in California in Fresno. How we doing, Courtney? Welcome back to the show. Everybody knows you here. What's going on?
Hello.
You're muffled a little bit, but you might need to step back a little bit. Can I hear you? Try again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better. How you doing, dear?
Okay, I'm doing good. Listening to your, I love your song choice.
Well, my opening monologue is, and I want to say this because Courtney will understand this. Courtney and I have known each other, just as long. I want to say Courtney and I have known each other at least 11 years, if not about 12.
Yeah.
And it's only been in correspondence. So it's only been on the phone. You and I have never physically met, but our friendship has grown over the last 11 years. And Courtney will tell you, I don't want to tell you, she was just saying this last weekend. When Courtney and I first started interacting with one another, Courtney famously said those same words about me. Sellout, hates black people, hates black women. Again, because I refuse to adhere to the orthodoxy. Fair enough, Courtney? That was the drill? That I wasn't behaving like a proper black person.
Right. I did used to think that. I have Reese has changed a lot over the years too, as far as being open-minded, and I just didn't ever take the time to actually understand like where he was coming from. But I used to say those same things, and probably a few other choice words because we always would go back and forth. But growth is what it's about, and so you've definitely grown. But I wanted to say, with the J. King scandal, we all know he's a POS, so like.
Well, I'm not trying to disparage him. I think in this particular case and I think this is, again, I think it lends itself to the argument that I keep making on this show and on others about DEI, about civil rights organizations or these so-called black power movements, that it's never about the thing that they say it is. It is always about money. And again, the two things that I think are the most important things that I like pointing out is, I said that there were always three things that these, leftists, and especially the civil rights leftists, what it's always about. It's about political gamesmanship, it's about moral gamesmanship, and financial. Those are the three things they wish to achieve. They've got it politically, it's got to be beneficial to them. Morally, they've got to be more superior to you, so you have to bow down to their moral superiority, and you have to give them money in order to assuage your guilt. And it's never about the first two if money is involved. And people have been in this particular scandal, and why it's a problem is because a city official is alleged to have used their power and taxpayer money to line the pockets of people who were using that same, that same grift, if you will.
Right, right, and that's what I wanted to say was, this is a prime example, a small scale of the bigger scale of what's going on. I always come on here and I'm joking when I say death of the party lines, and but I'm serious because I feel like the government has gotten so powerful, each individual group, that they've lost control of themselves. It's like everybody's now able to do these side deals, and they've learned how to maneuver through the loopholes, and they're just mimicking what they've learned, watched the higher ups do. And so it's like this Jay King's this example, which I think that because of all the truth that's coming out in 2025, I think that doesn't have a big light on it to be an example of what you need not to do, because this is it. Stop lining your pockets at the exploitation of your people, one, general, period.
Yeah, and I think that, again, this story parallels with what we're dealing with the Trump administration right now with USAID. What we're finding out is that there are political operatives who are taking taxpayer dollars and giving it to people for political favors. Okay, and that's what, and again, the fact that people are saying, or for that matter, people are saying that we need to have checks and balances, and then when we do have those checks and balances, we find out who the people are who have been fleecing the system. All of a sudden, people want to back away and say, well, maybe this was a bad idea. No, it's always the people. And again, listen to me, I say this no matter what. Every time you look under the hood at all of this, I guess what's the word? Altruism. Every time you look under the hood of all of these grants and all of these, favors that people are giving out, or these things that are doing is supposed to be morally sound. We're doing it for the good of the people. We're doing it because it's a good thing to do. When we look under the hood, we always find out that someone else is either skimming or they're profiting from it in some other way. It doesn't always have to be financial, but they're always profiting it for themselves. There's nothing pure about it. And that's, maybe I'm asking too much. Maybe, as a white Mike likes to say, I may be sacrificing the good for the perfect.
Right. Well, so I think one thing to point out, though, too, just to be accountable for self, and we the people we outnumber them always, and this is America is supposed to be the government where we the people tell the government how things go and and all that. It's not supposed to be like this, and so I think too, as a people, we have to get our backbones back, and start exposing these people, especially the ones in high positions. What you're seeing is wrong. It's corrupt. Stop. I mean, I understand being scared because people with money can make things happen.
And power.
But at what? Yeah, right. But at what point do we say, okay, enough is enough? This is getting ridiculous. There's the rich are 1% of the people should not be owning all the money. That doesn't make any sense.
Or having the wherewithal to influence things all the way. Because what the part that flips me out is that this is a story, by the way, so everybody's listening, this is a story out of California. I get it. But it's a story that's going to be big. I promise you, this story is going to be bigger than It's going to make national headlines because I promise you there are feds involved. And now that the Trump administration is in, you can damn well bet that this is going to be a national story. I promise you. But here's the thing that I want people to understand. When you see this kind of stuff happening and you know that no one is saying anything and no one's accountable, I want you to think about it on this scale, why this is so bad, okay? We are talking about millions of dollars, okay? Whether you like it or not, millions of dollars to promote black businesses in California. Black people make up 2.5 million out of 38 million in the state of California. Ask yourself this question. Why are millions of dollars? How many business owners do you think in the black community are out of 2.5 million? 1%? Like 1%? Right. Like we're talking 2.5 million people. How much money could you possibly, if you really want to help black businesses, you should be able to do that in a check. One check. You should be able to do that to help with a startup. If you're a venture capitalist or you're a part of the Chamber of Commerce, you should be able to do that with one stroke of the pen. But the fact that this has been going on for years and millions of dollars exchanging, that is unaccounted for, according to the Sacramento Bee. it shows that, again, this is another fleecing with using racial animus and a black power structure, as it will, to fleece, again, not just the taxpayers, but also the people they're intending to help.
Right. And we can't have that. Look where we're at now. If we're out here now, if we don't start nipping this stuff in the butt, and, I get it. It's like the world up there, and up there being, powerful people. It's like a cold world. It sucks you in, and it's like, this is how it goes. This is the name of the game. It's profit over people.
Yeah,
Literally,
profit over
That's
people.
what it is.
100% right. This is something that should have been done for free. There should never have been a salary increase in 1 year of $44,000 to $155,000 for a no-pay 501c3. In no way should that have happened.
Have me saying I'm in the wrong business, right?
Courtney, let me go. I got to get out of here. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
We'll get your phone calls. We'll talk about Ned Lamont in the next hour. I promise I got more news, more views. Don't forget, we got the 5 o'clock focus coming up. Also, the stupidest thing that I read today, Scotland and cats. You're not going to believe this one, and so much more. Stick around. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbee, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV, or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/radio, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
Texting privacy policy. Posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing? I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online. I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy? Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door. How do I get started with Zelfie? Just send them a text.
Text COVER to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text COVER to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text COVER to 200-300. That's COVER to 200-300. COVER to 200-300.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I'm not going to lie. That's one of my favorite promos. I love Uncle Rush. I always said a love child because I really do think I embody him sometimes. And even though I call my camera the Ditto Cam sometimes just by accident because I'm so used to the Ditto Cam days. We'll get to, you know what? I can take Ralph. I've got enough time. Give me 2 seconds though, Ralph. Stand by. Phil Murphy, by the way, did you hear? Phil Murphy, we played his audio yesterday talking about apparently he was harboring an illegal in his apartment above his garage. Well, he appears to be backing off of that because of Tom Homan. We've got that audio coming up in a little bit as well. Phil Murphy, Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey's audio, and then what Tom Homan had to say on Hannity last night, which was amazing. And Tom Homan's face. There's just one of those things where you get a face and you just kind of go, where you like, you're serious, but you're half laughing because you're just asking yourself, is he really this stupid? I know that's what Homan was thinking. And I know that look. I get it all the time. Is this guy really that dumb? You got to be kidding, right? But we'll play that in a little bit. Let's go to Ralph in South Carolina. How we doing out there in South Kakalaki?
82 and not a cloud in the sky.
All right, stop bragging. No. What's going on, big guy?
I have a question for you.
What do you got?
How do you like paying $2.5 million for electric cars in Vietnam?
How much?
$2.5 million for electric cars in Vietnam.
In Vietnam? Everybody there rides a bike the last I checked, right? Or am I talking about the Vietnam War?
Yeah, well, I would wonder how all those Vietnam veterans feel about that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're giving Vietnam $2.5 million for electric cars. And you look at all the money, I mean, anybody with a brain would not do what they're doing with this money.
So wait a minute. So that, are you talking about the USAID?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So for those of you who get in context, so what Ralph in South Carolina is talking about is we are sending, USAID is sending $2.5 million to Vietnam to promote electric vehicles. Well, look, do you know what the thing that bothers me about this? They all seem to fall under those three leftist ideologies. It's, DEI, transgenderism, and green energy. It's like nothing beyond that. Like, I haven't seen one thing promoting reading, writing, or arithmetic for Malaysian kids. Like, none of that stuff is what they're promoting. The fact that Columbia got $47,000 to produce a transsexual comic book, in my head, I'm going, who would be the guy who would approve that? Who's that? I don't know who these people are.
I will guarantee you, Reese, and I think you'll agree with me, most of this money is being kicked back in cash.
Without a doubt.
To these people who are approving it.
Yeah. Look, listen, I thought, Ralph, I want to say 10 years ago, I thought that the $1 million spent to find out if humans can outrun dinosaurs, and when we found out that the test to prove that point was an alligator on a treadmill, I thought that I had seen everything. I really did. I thought I'd seen it all.
You mean the shrimp on the treadmill? You agreed with that?
No, they put it when I found out the intricals of the integral part of the study to find out if humans can outrun a dinosaur was an alligator, maybe a crocodile, on a treadmill. That was the study. I went to myself, I was like, okay, that's it. I've seen it all. And now I'm seeing $47,000 for a transsexual comic book in Colombia. And I'm going, all right, that's it. I think they're finding new and inventive ways to take people off.
But I guess the question is, who approves this money? There's got to be somebody there, and they got to be one of the richest people in the world, and they probably have a closet full of cash in their house.
I want that guy tried at The Hague, man. I want him tried at The Hague. Thank you, Ralph. Let's take a break and get our first check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays from 33 down to 32A and B. In Hartford, northbound 91, that's doing very well as you move from Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. If you're on the westbound side of 84, you're going to see some slow traffic now as you move from the from the Bulkley Bridge, basically right up to 46 Sisson Avenue. Eastbound side of 84, not bad at all. Just some slow traffic as you move up on 46 Sisson Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 eastbound's a little slow getting over the Bristol Bridge, moving into South Windsor. 2 eastbound's in good shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound Middletown, slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury, you'll lose some speed as you approach and get through the Mixmaster. And 95 South New Haven, slowing between 44 and 43. New Haven into West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition, available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy, turning colder as the clouds give way to some sun, the high of 43. Breezy and much colder tonight, though, increasing clouds, the low only down to 15, and going to feel like it's well down in the single digits at best with a strong northwest wind. Then for Wednesday, a mostly cloudy day. It'll be colder, the high of 31. Mostly cloudy for Wednesday night, the low down to 17. That sets the table for Thursday morning. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain in the morning with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, then occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon. Roads could be slick for that morning commute, the high of 34. Then on Friday, we'll get windy with a mix of clouds and sunshine. The high 38 is going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best most of the day with a strong west-northwest wind. Mostly cloudy Saturday, the high of 33, though less windy. Intermittent snow and sleet Sunday morning. It'll be milder in the afternoon with the high 43. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. State Senate Republicans are proposing a round of tax cuts they say would save the average family about $1,000 in 2026. Their income tax cut would be paid for with a wage freeze on state workers, a move opposed by a coalition of those employees. Republicans also want to cap property taxes at 2% and eliminate unfunded mandates on towns and cities. Senate Minority Leader Steve Harding says those mandates are a burden.
This would be funded in part
That's
by
so true, Dan.
a working group getting together this upcoming year to find the municipal mandates that can be cut and reduced from municipalities to make municipal government not as expensive.
Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff says the state just passed a major income tax cut.
Damn, motherfuckers dropping like flies here, dude.
Tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires, and at the same time freezing wages for working people and working families. We're
Who's
seeing
going
that
now?
play out in Washington right now, and they're bringing the same playbook here to Connecticut.
The account lady from yesterday.
Wednesday.
The woman you were just
FBI is
speaking
giving
to
Justice
yesterday?
Department employees who worked on the January.
This is crazy.
What the
President Trump.
hell, dude?
And the Agents Association is suing to prevent that list from getting out.
They say, among other things, this is a violation of their rights, of their privacy, and what's more, they argue this list.
Is that the only
of
one?
Employees who handled January 6 cases.
Yeah, that they say, yeah.
A piece of nitroglycerin.
I just literally just got finished talking to her like 20 minutes ago. And she was saying, "Thank you so much, man. You really hooked that up for us." The owner was very impressed. He talked to Janine earlier today.
Sent me an email.
Confirmed by the
Crazy.
the Secretary of Health and Human Services, correspondent Allison Keyes.
Senator Bill Cassidy, a Louisiana Republican and physician, expressed deep concern about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over his anti-vaccine work. But Cassidy says the Trump administration and Kennedy told him
he and I would have an unprecedentedly close collaborative working relationship.
Cassidy says they committed to protect the public health benefits of vaccinations, and he supports their agenda to make America healthy again. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
In the meantime, a Senate committee has moved Tulsi Gabbard's nomination forward to be Director of National Intelligence. Norwalk police have released an update on an incident in which a man was struck by a police cruiser while riding a bicycle just after 6 Monday evening when Detective Andrew Ronsinski was headed east on Connecticut Avenue in an unmarked car. Police say the detective had a green light when he...
Can you tell that Rob don't like police?
Yeah, what the hell, dude?
On Clinton.
I gotta remember. You know what? It's because I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
Result of the collision that crash.
It's like I have to make a list of these people.
Well, this is the time of year when
Yeah, he calls every show though, so.
That's all right.
Filing
We'll put an
their
end to
state
that.
and federal income tax returns. The deadline, still months away, but Sarah Spodek, the director of the tax clinic at Quinnipiac University in Hamden, says now's the time to begin gathering all those important tax docs.
Look for your W-2s. Make sure you have any 1099s that were issued to you by your bank. take a look and see that you have maybe if you're entitled to, if you have a mortgage interest deduction, and make sure that you have all of your social security numbers and all the other information that you would need.
And she says, don't fret if you think you can't make the April 15th tax filing deadline. You can always file for a 6-month extension if it comes to that. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow up 134 points, NASDAQ up 262, and the S&P up by 43 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Is credit card debt ruining? Did you know
There you
you
go.
have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe?
By the way, who's that
Debt
unknown
has
or
helped
withheld?
people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit
Oh, I haven't even checked.
with payment relief.
If
the
you
burden
could.
of rising
Yeah, I know. I got you.
large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we're so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the Debt Blue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there's absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-211-5209. That's 800-211-5209. The call is free.
And 10.
Thank you,
Free.
sir.
The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-211-5209. 800-211-5209.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Wrong.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do.
I can't believe I pressed the wrong button. I suck. What's the stupidest thing I read today? This one actually, I don't know why I'm a little miffed at this, but I am. Why? I'm a dog person. I believe that I'm a dog person. I was afraid of dogs as a kid. I was also afraid of cats. Well, I might as well be honest. I was afraid of dogs more so than I was afraid of cats. I had a landlord who had a German Shepherd who bit me right on my elbow. I was flexing like this, and as he was coming at me, and I got scared, and he bit me right on the elbow. And that got me really, really like nervous around dogs. Not any particular breed, just dogs in general. It didn't matter what you had, whether it was a Yorkshire Terrier or one of those little poodles or the hot dog dogs. If it was a dog, I didn't like it. My biggest problem is because they don't speak English. They just don't. They don't speak English. All right, you can't speak. I know people think they understand English. I think that's nonsense. But nonetheless, they don't. You can't tell it stop. You can't reason with a dog because they don't speak English. So it took me a while before I got into dogs, and I had my own dogs, and so I got to be more comfortable around dogs. The hardest thing to get comfortable with were cats because I thought they were just aloof and evil. And I was attacked by a cat in a very vicious way. This cat actually used to jump. My aunt's cat, Thea, jumped onto my leg and would put its claws into my leg, Roland, like so deep that it would draw blood. What made it worse is that as the blood was coming down my leg, the crazy psychotic cat would be like licking it. Like it was a carnivore, like it was actually feeding. It was weird. That's how it was a crazy cat.
Just a vampire reborn
It's a
dog. Nothing crazy about that.
Yes, exactly. The cat ended up being killed by my aunt when it attacked her son as a child. He went right for his neck. And so I was always afraid. But then I got very comfortable with cats and fell in love with one cat named Hennessy, which I kept for years. But Scotland has gone one step further, folks. And Scotland is now about to ban cats in the whole country because they wish to protect birds. Apparently, cats have been killing birds like crazy. And I guess just street birds. And it says the Scottish Animal Welfare Commission estimates that about 250,000 bats and 27 million birds in the UK are killed each year by felines. I didn't know it was that. There's no way that's true. Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Do you believe cats kill that many birds?
Well, they do. People should still be allowed to have their cats.
Yeah,
come
but
on.
how are you going to ban a cat? Imagine what all the cat ladies are going to do with themselves if they start banning cats. What are they going to do for companionship?
Or how about people that identify as cats?
Oh.
They're going to be a little disrupted by this too. So There's a lot going on here. This is
Can
a big
you
decision.
hold on?
And where
Can
do
you?
when what gets banned next? If you're banning cats, who knows what?
I'll tell you what you ban just based on what you just said. You can not only just ban cats, but then you can ban the ownership of people who identify as cats.
There you go. This is a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Very slippery slope.
Exactly. When you start banning the ownership of people who identify as cats, you've gone too far.
This is a major upheaval. Well, if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, Reese, southbound 91, you've got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, that moves well Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is slowing, approaching the Boki Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. Eastbound 84 a little tight as you approach 46 Sisson Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291, 384, okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, Waterbury 84 westbound, you'll lose a little speed at the Mixmaster. And if you're heading toward New Haven, 95 southbound a little slow as you move between 44 and 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, breezy, much colder, increasing clouds. The low down to 16. Going to feel like it's in the single digits with a strong northwest wind, and mostly cloudy, colder for us on Wednesday. The high only 30. Thursday, snow, sleet, and freezing rain in the morning with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. Then occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon. Could be a very tough morning commute, the high of 34. Then Friday, windy with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 38 is going to feel like it's 20s at best at times with a strong west-northwest wind. Right now, it's 34 in Waterbury, 40 in New Haven, 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. It's winter, and we need to keep our crews busy, so ask us about our winter specials. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Does your child need a dentist? Make their first impression a great one at Columbia Dental. In our Manchester and Rocky Hill offices, we specialize in pediatric dentistry, creating a positive and stress-free experience for your little one. Visit columbiadental.com today.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my family's from Bristol. Allaire Elder Law met my #1 goal when I decided to work with them, to make sure my parents and their assets were protected legally so they can enjoy the rest of their time together and not worry about becoming one of the Title 19 horror stories. And our family cannot thank them enough.
Find out more at allaireelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
If you want jet, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREE.
Yeah, here we go.
Cellular.com or a store near you and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-bills.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
By the way, I want to say thank you to, maybe I'll remember it and then I'll say its name. But I want to thank some folks over at Between Rounds. I got a great email. I think Paul sent me, if not Paul, it's Jerry. I want to say Jerry. And I just got the email earlier today, so I may be wrong. Jerry, I think, is who sent me an email from Between Rounds. He actually heard me talking about the Bagel Bowl that they're selling. You got to go to Between Rounds to find out about that because tomorrow, I think, is the last day that you can order it. So make sure you do that. And, of course, we've got our last but not least caller of the day who's going to win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, maybe I'll reference a little bit of the email. I didn't even know that they listened. So between rounds, if you're listening to the show, I hope you are having a good time. I really, really care about your opinion. So don't be shy. Send me an email if there's something that you like about the show or you want to opine about something I talked about. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget, we've got, of course, my favorite part of the show, the bagel joke of the day. It's catching on. You guys don't think so. Roland, you're the big hater on the bagel joke of the day. You're the big hater, biggest hater in the world on the bagel joke of the day. Even though I impress you a little bit on the joke. Right now, my win-loss total is probably 1-4, maybe 1-4. I'm playing like the Jets now on the bagel jokes. So I'll get better. Brandon says banning cats. What could go wrong? Mice problem, etc. Yeah, exactly. Scotland has gone full woke and commie, just like the rest of the UK. Fritz says, I have bees. I'm one up on you. Zach is responding to the crazy cat that attacked me. He said, that's a nutty cat. I'm a cat lover. Never met a cat like that. Nor have I. Not with a murderous taste for blood. Never met a cat like that.
It was a vampire reborn. He was upset.
Never have I met a cat like that. Let's go back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. George is in St. Louis. How we doing, buddy?
Hi, Reese. I want to tell you about the Costa Nostra and that operated in New York City.
Oh yeah, back in the days.
They were into drugs, extortion. They extracted stipends as dues, and when they went to the local don, they were into gambling and kidnapping, election fraud, and assassinations. Yeah, and they wanted to control the police, the judges, the newspapers and media.
Holy moly! Unions, I think I'm making a connection here.
And the pension funds.
Right.
Yeah. Well, does that sound like a certain political party that we're both familiar with?
Through and through. It's so interesting you say that, because you're right.
They're operating as just like the Cosa Nostra, and like the rackets, the New York rackets,
and the protection money. That's another part about it. The protection money.
Yeah, well, now Musk has gotten he's gotten control of the Treasury.
Yep.
And he can see, and there's a history there since it's a computer program. There's a history there showing where all the money's been going, probably for decades. And now he's got them.
Yep.
Now he's got the Democrat Party, and they're furious that now all the information is about to be released on the malfeasance that's been going on in the government. An example. This is California. This is an aside.
Right.
Nobody knows where the money went.
That's right.
When the fires broke out, there was supposed to be millions that were supposed to clear the underbrush and get the powder keg from farming that burned down L.A. Nobody knows where the money went. So guess what? Nobody knows where the money went in Washington, D.C. either. And we're going to find out. And when this all comes out, the Democrat Party is dead.
You want to talk about this, George?
Be going to jail.
George, this is where the rubber meets the road on everything you're talking about. When you see guys like Jamie Raskin, Chris Murphy, Ilhan Omar, when you see all these guys on the Capitol steps holding this huge forum,
the Dons.
Yeah, the Dons.
The mafia Dons.
You
Just
see
call them what they are.
You see the gaggle of press. By the way, there was more press there than the Congress people on that dais, right? As it were. There was press were everywhere, and they called everybody they could. And it is nothing more than a united front to get the press on their side, Chris Murphy called it a constitutional crisis. And again, trying to, in essence, flood the zone with that talking point so that when Elon Musk gets in there, and what you're talking about is very similar to what Elon did in Twitter. This is going to be the Twitter files on steroids, because what Elon wants to do is to walk in there and say, guess what, folks? I'm going to expose every dime they ever spent on your behalf. And they know it's over. The jig is up. That's the reason why they're scared.
It's just a matter of time before it all hits the fan.
Yep.
And that's why they're furious. And it all came to a head when in last November's election. Now they're screaming. They're everything's exposed.
Yeah.
And the lady that was just on,
yes,
she described everything. She described was racketeering.
Yes.
Everything. She didn't call it that, but it is racketeering.
That's
And
exactly
what's
right.
been going on in our government.
Yep, and that's what I'm expecting to happen in that case. I'm expecting the feds to come in and to look at those books, and racketeering without a doubt. Thank you, George. Andrew's in New Britain. How we doing, Andy?
Hey, Reese. Real good. I'm going to play lightning round with you.
Go for it.
Here, quick. Maha Rashi is laughing best because he's laughing last.
That's
in
right.
Ecstasy right now. Every day is Christmas, brother. Every day is Christmas. An answer to an old question of yours is Raggedy Ann and Sideshow Bob. You're asking about KJP's hairstyle.
Yes.
Raggedy Ann or Sideshow Bob. Sideshow Bob was the.
Oh, I
guy
remember from The
Frasier
Simpsons.
show. The guy from the Frasier show doing the Simpsons voice. Yeah. And real quick, the illiterate lady who's suing the state.
Yes.
She can't get anywhere because she benefited from DEI. Their defense is going to be they were using DEI to promote her along. Okay, part of their affirmative action.
That's so
program by the
true.
CPA and the Department of Ed.
Andrew, that's so true. I don't think that was
Isn't it
there.
any different?
No, you're right. It isn't any different. I think what you're saying, what you're saying is accurate. I don't think that was their intent, but I think what you touched on here, what you've discovered here is a real no. What I'm saying is what you've discovered here is a great case study for why DEI cannot be. Because in essence, we got a girl who graduated high school, who went through school from 5 years old until graduation to 19, who can't read or write, and she was graduated with honors. It is DEI. It's DEI on steroids. Everything about her. And she gets to the promised land, a Puerto Rican girl who gets to UConn, of all places, which can only be considered a top-tier school. And she gets there and she finds out that everything that she was handed on a silver platter was worth nothing. And now she can't, again, she couldn't even hold the job at a grocery store at this point. So that's a good point you're making there, Andrew. I totally appreciate that. I think I lost them. All right, let's get to Stanley, who's in Newington. How we doing, Stanley?
All right. A couple of statements.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, regarding what Musk and Trump are exposing, okay?
Yes.
And all the crazy expenses. I mean, both parties are guilty of all this bullshit. Excuse the Gaelic. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have a democracy. Anyone who thinks we ever had a democracy is a fooling themselves.
Right.
This is a private club for both parties, and all these members are in conspiracy. Taking advantage of us. That's all it is.
Well, I think. Well, let me ask you this, Stanley. What is your take on Trump bringing in people like Elon Musk and Doge? Department of Government. What is it? Department of Government oversight, whatever the case is. Anyway, what do you think of the advent of this organization to go in and check the books? I mean, are you?
Well, I think it's good to have someone like that from the outside look in, but I just think he may be the wrong person who should be allowed to be doing it based on what his interests are in the private business.
Yeah,
world,
I don't I'll tell you this part. You're right, because I think you give an argument to opposition by the fact that Elon Musk has government contracts in an industry that we don't do ourselves, right? If we still if we had NASA operating as a government apparatus and he was just some rich billionaire who had no government contracts and had no government interest at all, go have at it. But I think that conflict of interest is a good argument.
Last statement, okay? The fact of the matter is this government, all the rulers in this government have not been elected officials. They're appointed czars, just like Germany.
Agreed.
During World War. Okay, that's all it is.
I got you.
Anybody who thinks otherwise is fooling themselves, and they deserve what they get.
Thank you, Stanley. Let's go to Alex in Hartford. How are we doing, Alex? Alex,
I'm doing good.
You got to turn yourself down. I'm sorry, sir. What's going on?
What's going on? Can I ask you what is your opinion on when ICE is coming in and taking out violent, and what about safe criminals?
Well, let's look at it this way, and this may be a little harsh for the fair-minded or even the soft-headed, but I put it to you this way: we don't know whether or not, and whatever is happening in the background, I need you to turn that down if you could.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. Here's what my biggest problem with this whole issue, and this is, and we talked about this story maybe a couple of weeks ago, and if you haven't heard it, you should look it up. So the example that I'm going to use is that there's this story where there are two defendants in Bridgeport who are going to court now because they found out that these two individuals had 5 illegals in the country that they were extorting through the ICE program, which in essence was saying they had to pay rent, they also had to work for free and clean the house and do all of this stuff. And if they didn't, they extorted them by saying, we're going to contact ICE and get you deported. And this was a whole, the whole ring of people, in essence, who had, I guess, what you would call modern day slaves. And they were making them work on jobs and they were taking part of their pay. While those people were probably sending the other half to their home country or the country of origin. So this whole racketeering or this whole sort of, scheme is happening in and around because those coyotes, if you will, they don't just end at the border. They're actually happening in state and in city.
Yes.
So when you say if the feds come around and they start scooping up people who have not committed any crimes, I say to you nonsense, because I will use this analogy. If a pimp has prostitutes on the street, when the police officer rolls up, does he arrest the pimp because the prostitute committed no crime and, in his view, was forced to do that? Or do you wrap everybody up who's committing the crime of prostitution?
Well, yeah. Hold on. Besides that point, do you think that should we keep the religion aspect out of politics? Do you think religion and politics should completely be separated?
Absolutely not. Because there is nothing in there's nothing in the Constitution that says there's a separation of church and state. In fact, it reads that the government shall make no laws based on religion or restrict the practice of religion anywhere.
Yeah. So you do agree, you don't think the religion aspect should be, especially when we're working with immigrants that came over.
Well, it's ridiculous for anybody to talk this nonsense about religion playing a role in it. It has to do with the rule of law. There are people who come into this. There are people who come into this country, 1 million of them a year. In fact, we average about 1 million a year who come in legally. We had 14 million in 4 years, and those people skip the line. And there are people who are doing it the right way who deserve to get. I mean, those people who did it the right way, they'll never see $13,000 in their EBT card. They come here and they work from scratch. But you got people who are cutting the line. You have people who are cutting the line and getting $13,000 on the EBT card. Come on, you couldn't. I put it to you this way. This is the best way that I could put it, Alex. If you flip out, if somebody skips the line in front of you to go to the movies, you should be upset about people skipping the line to come into this country.
Do you think we should have an easier immigration system, though? Like maybe simple background check or
No, I want it hard as hell. And not only that, I want you to prove your allegiance to the flag in order to come in here. Don't bring your culture here because your culture got you here. That's the way I look at it. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate all the questions. Your allegiance to your old flag, if you celebrate it, stay there. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy?
Individual for liberty and,
And justice for all.
Hey, thank you very much, Reese. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, delays 91 southbound approaching 33 down to 32. Again, some slow traffic 27 to 28 in Hartford. Again, a little slowdown as you approach exit 19 in Meriden. 91 northbound, good ride, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing in East Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to exit 44, Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound, got delays about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 eastbound, a little slow over the Bissell Bridge as you head into South Windsor. 2 eastbound looking good, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Middletown looks good, 9 in the Aragodi Bridge, no problems in Waterbury. 84 and 8, 91 in the Parkway, a smooth ride in New Haven. Just a little slow, 95 South 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, clouds will give way to some sun. It'll be breezy and turning colder, the high of 43. Breezy and much colder tonight with increasing clouds, the low down to 15. Then mostly cloudy and colder Wednesday, the high only 31. Heading into our Thursday, snow, sleet, and freezing rain in the morning with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, then occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon, the high 34. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
Or maybe not.
Dude, yo, if
4:30.
my thing is, you're supposed to be on at a certain time. 15 seconds earlier, even that's pushing it, but at least 15 seconds before you're supposed to. Like, come on, man. Every day?
Plus red light cameras at some city intersections. Meeting set to begin in about a half an hour.
Hey, I'll call you after the
Committee
show. I'll
members
let you
met
know my
last month
my
to
convo.
discuss the proposal.
Okay, cool.
City and police officials say one of the main complaints is speeding through city streets and also other unsafe driving practices. A man's dead after he was struck by an unmarked Norwalk police cruiser while riding a bike. This happened around 6 last evening at an area of Connecticut and Clinton Avenues. Police are investigating. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has cleared his first hurdle to become the nation's top health official as the Senate Finance Committee voted to advance his nomination today. Anytime another Senate committee advanced the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard to head national intelligence. FBI agents who participated in investigations related to President Trump have sued over Justice Department efforts to develop a list of employees involved in those inquiries that agents fear could be a precursor or discipline or termination. Markets finished in positive territory on Wall Street today. The Dow gained 134 points, the Nasdaq was up 262, and the S&P was up 43 points. NBA tonight, the Celtics are in Cleveland to face the Cavs. The Knicks north of the border to take on the Raptors. NHL tonight, it's the Bruins hosting Minnesota, and the Isles host Vegas. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, everybody, Tom Shattuck here. This Sunday is the big game. Don't blame me. This would be much easier if I could just say this has finally come. Parties, football, libations, food, all the festivities we welcome every February. Question is, what if you're trying to lose weight but still enjoy watching this with friends? The answer? Nothing. As I've told you before, Awaken 180 is built for real-life scenarios. The reason I lost my 80 pounds, the program works. And another thing that's really important to me, this is not a big pharma experimental serum that you're taking or anything. There's no syringes involved. This is just good natural eating. Eat wings and meatballs while watching the have a beverage while betting on the live your life while enjoying the I think you get the point. Whether you're in the weight loss phase or in free lifelong maintenance, Awaken 180 won't get in the way of enjoying the big game. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. 844-346-1800.
Prescriptions require consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS... Start your free online visit and save up to 95%. Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oh, man. Anyway, we're back. I've got plenty of news and plenty of views for you to shake a stick at. We're going to talk about Van Jones. We're going to talk about Tom Homan and Governor Phil Murphy. We've got to talk about Lamont, Governor Lamont, and his $54 million proposal to give money to the schools. I want to get into that very soon. In fact, I'll do that in the next break. But someone's got to explain something to me. And this gives me somebody, maybe you're a teacher. And if you are a teacher, I need you to call 860-522-WTIC. Maybe even you're a retired teacher. Probably better, because if you're a teacher, you probably don't want to call because you're worried about your job and people hearing you, and then people are very, very afraid of that kind of stuff. So if you're a former teacher, at least within the last 5 years since your retirement, I want you to call up. There was something interesting in the Hartford Current article that I read, and I don't know what this means. Okay, because I'm treading lightly here. Okay, I don't know what special education means anymore. Okay, I don't know what it means. When I was a kid, we knew what that meant. For those of you who grew up, you're Gen Xers, you knew who the special ed kids were. That's not me. I'm not poking fun here. I don't want anybody to get the impression I'm making some joke. It's not. I know who these people were when I grew up in school. They were physically or mentally handicapped. It wasn't just kids with Down syndrome, then other developmental problems. But lately, as I'm seeing this number grow, there appears to be, out of the 500,000 students in Connecticut, 92,000 of them are considered special ed kids. According to the Hartford Current, that's 18% of the kids. And is there a reconstitution? Is there a different measure? Like if there's a kid who's just a hard ass, and you know my meaning, kid is hard-headed, won't sit still, doesn't listen to anything, won't follow directions, needs soothing noises. We had a kid like that in school. We never put him in special ed. He had a relationship with the teacher. I'll never forget it. This guy Curtis was like, he was like Fezzik from Princess Bride, Andre the Giant. He was like him. He was scary. His name was Curtis too, which is an old school Negro name. Like Curtis was like,
what?
You don't name your kid Curtis anymore, Roland. You just don't. And it was just huge. And he wore this one jacket. He never took it off. And he reminded me of, what's the character's name in My Bodyguard? Those of you remember the movie with Chris Makepeace. William Baldwin played the bodyguard. And he was just a hulking figure. He looked like a grown man. What's he doing in high school? I'll never forget Curtis. But he was cool. Curtis was let me tell you why Curtis was cool. He was a thug. All the gang members knew him. He was never a member of the gang. All the gang members knew him, and they would let him walk around free without being bullied because they knew he would, literally, he'd break them like a twig. He was like, which one is George? Is it George or Lenny? Yeah, Lenny. He was just that big. He was hulking. He was smart. He was nice. And here's the thing that made him the best out of all of it. He was cool. His parents dressed him in the coolest hip-hop gear ever, so he didn't look like a slouch. But he protected the nerds in school. Like the weak kids, he was their bodyguard. And the gangs, if they even messed with a geek in the school and Curtis was walking down, he would stare down the cool kids and the tough ruffians and they would back off and nobody would bother you. That's what I loved about Curtis. But he was never special needs. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Mark Christopher, did you have like a big, giant, hulking kid in school who was like the biggest kid, like he didn't belong in your high school?
Oh yeah, there were a couple. I just remember. I remember in high school the small kids, like the freshmen, like they weighed about 115 pounds.
Exactly.
You know those door stops?
Yes.
For the doors, so they don't smash into the wall.
Yeah.
I remember the light kids, the kids that didn't weigh a lot, got hooked up high on those, and they're just dangling there. And I thank God every day that I was probably 5'10" in high school, 5'11". And I weighed 100.
Were you a part of the locker prison era?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The locker prison.
You mean yeah? It's weird. My son now doesn't use a locker. I find it so weird. They just walk around with
their books, right?
Yeah, I don't
what
get
the
that.
heck?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Probably preventing people getting locked in them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's probably why.
That's true.
How do you cut down on bullying? You get rid of the locker prison.
It's so sad. It's really sad. And you know what? I tell my son all the time. I go, listen. The really cool kids in high school right now.
Yeah.
When you see them at your 10th or 25th reunion, they're going to be the biggest losers, and the big nerds are going to be.
They
on
are
top.
peaked
That's
in
how
high
it
school,
works.
buddy. Peaked
It
in
all
high
evens
school.
off. It all evens off.
Yep.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84 tied up, approaching the Bulky Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound slows 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel, 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, a little slow 27 to 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Rocky Hill through downtown up into Windsor, 291, 384 okay east of the river, 2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. No problems in Middletown, 9 in the Aragodi Bridge. Waterbury's moving well, 84 and 8. In New Haven, a little slow, 95 southbound, 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s, WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
I'm Reese and much colder with increasing clouds tonight. The low down to 16, then mostly cloudy and colder for us as we make our way into Wednesday. The high only 30. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, the low 17. That sets the table for Thursday with snow, sleet, and freezing rain in the morning. 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, then occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon. So could be a very tough morning commute on Thursday. The high of 34. Windy with a mix of clouds and sun on Friday with the high of 38. Going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best with a strong west-northwest wind throughout the day. Currently, it's 37 in New London, 34 in Mansfield, 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. When I think of February, I think of Valentine's Day and the feeling of love. It brings a smile to my face, as your bathroom always should. I want everyone to love their bathrooms, so it's time to fall in love again. Let Modern Plumbing Supply show you how. Visit our showroom on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin. Now is the perfect time to update with the newest styles and trends, and you'll truly love your bathroom again. Modern Plumbing Supply on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a...
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay.
Now for your free timeshare exit info kit, 800-317-2277. That's 800-317-2277. 800-317-2277.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Yeah, get on the phones, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Lamont proposes $54 million more in special ed aid. Here's why, what, and it would do. Here's why and what it would do. So I went over this a couple of times. I know that there was somebody who was on Brian and Company. I apologize if I don't remember who it was. Forgive me. But nonetheless, I start looking at this. And let's go over the first paragraph, if you'll bear with me here. It says, with costs reaching more than $100,000 per year for some students, Governor Lamont called on Monday for an additional $54 million for special education to help Connecticut communities shoulder the cost. What he's talking about here, and I'm sort of jumping ahead, but in essence, it's saying $100,000 a year for special ed students. Part of the focus is to keep students in their own district rather than sending them by bus to as much as an hour away for specialized programs, for which tuition and transportation costs can reach as high as $200,000 per student. The plan calls for $14 million in competitive grants for in-district programs, plus $40 million in the second year of the two-year budget for excess costs for the most expensive cases. Now, look, Hartford Current, don't be mad at me for asking this question. And I know that it's boring. I know that it's boring. But what is the money going to? We know where the money is going to. You can't educate kids with money, okay? The money is going to administrators. That's what you're lobbying for. $54 million for people, not kids. You could throw trillions of dollars into the Hartford schools. It doesn't mean they'll learn squat. You could give these teachers 3 times the salary that they make. The kids will still not learn a thing. They will curb nothing. Here's why. These teachers cannot teach. They don't know how to teach because these kids can learn everything on their own. And there's no way to keep their attention when their attention is elsewhere. The things that they care about and the things that they learn have nothing to do with reading, writing, or arithmetic. Everything that they have is read to them. Everything that they do is actually recited to them. That's all. It's that simple. There's no way that you can interest kids in reading. How do I know that? I speak from experience. If I have to read a book, and I have plenty behind me here, if I have to read a book, I'll go, ugh, I don't want to have to read it. And I'll sit there and I'll read it. And sometimes, folks, I'll be honest with you, and I get a lot of crap for this from teachers. I think Lori is one who gives me a little bit of crap about this. I'll read a book, and it'll take me a week to get through it. I'm not going to lie. 400 or 500 pages. It takes me a week. I don't have the patience. Maybe I have ADHD. I don't know. Maybe I'm special needs. I don't know. But I can't sit and do it because reading to me is just boring. It just is. So I can imagine as a 55-year-old man who has always felt that way about reading. And I love reading, articles online. 1,700 words, get an article, get the background on it. Look at it. I love that kind of stuff. It's got to be of interest to me. If it's news, I'll read it. Right? If it's an article, an expose, I'll read it because I'm interested in it because it's news. It's like a broad. But if it's a book, no, I can't do it. So I know these kids are disinterested, uninterested for that matter. So how do you expect these kids to have better reading scores? What do we know? Most kids, 33%, are proficient in reading. That's a nationwide study. Why? We keep pouring money in and money in and money in. We do strike after strike after strike. We keep giving people promotions. We keep giving people's tenure. And kids are dumber for it. So can somebody at the Hartford Current, or anyone for that matter, can we track the money? What is Lamont giving $54 million for? Who gets it? And tell me how that gets an ROI. How do we get to a return on investment? That's all I care about. is how $1 improves the education of one child, be it a special ed kid either. Now, I keep hearing that people, like, we've got to attract teachers into the schools. Ask somebody, just ask someone right now who's in the teaching profession, what is the thing that would make their job more appealing? I never hear teachers talk about that. And if you're a teacher, please let me know. What is a way to make your job more enticing or recruitment friendly? Because I know a lot of kids out there, and they're a bunch of idealistic young girls. I hear them all the time. I would love to teach. I believe in shaping young minds. I would love to have the third graders that I can show how to color and to read. Yes, I know. And then they get there, and for some odd reason, they hate it. Is it the kids? Is it the salary? Is it the administrators? Nobody seems to know, and no one's talking. But I've got to ask a question. 92,000 kids in Hartford schools turn out to be considered special needs or special education? What's the criteria? No one seems to know. Is it behavioral? Because I hear a lot of people, and I know that you do too. Kids with behavioral issues are put in special ed too. And I'll meet a parent with a kid who's in special ed. It was like, oh, what's your kid's name? Oh, Tyrone. Oh, blah, blah, blah. What grade are you in, Tyrone? And Tyrone's like, I'm in the fourth grade. I'm like, okay, Tyrone's 6 feet tall in the fourth grade. Okay, kind of weird. And then his mother will chime in and she'll say, he's in a special ed program. But I'll look at her kid and I'm just like, he's playing Madden. He's cooking. He's over there cooking, a meal for himself. What do you mean he's special needs? He seems to be self-reliant. He's 6 feet tall. What do you mean special ed? Well, he has behavioral issues. Sometimes he has outbursts. What the hell does that even mean? So, and I hear this all the time. So again, if somebody can help me, I'd appreciate it. 860-522-WTIC. Fred's in Middletown. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good. Yeah, so this education, this is a Gordian knot.
Wow, good description.
Yeah. And then if I might play this, and then just another thing, the No Child Left Behind. That's basic Marxism. That's to each according to need, from each according to ability, and
yeah.
Some kids are just he's never going to do anything but push a broom. Don't, spend $100K a year on his education. Just, let him hang out with a broom. The other thing, if I may
Wait, you can't just run through that, Fred. You got to let that fester a little bit, dude. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, we got plenty of smart people around. We have enough smart people. It's like we have enough competent air traffic controllers. We just got to hire them.
That would be a good start.
We have enough food. We just feed most of it to cows, and what we don't feed to cows, we throw in a dumpster. But if I might play the scold here, this thing I forget his name. He said our democracy. God bless Dick Cheney. He's the devil incarnate, but he refers to our. And it's to the republic. I pledge allegiance to the flag and the republic. And the republic for which it stands.
Exactly.
So swapping out democracy, I swear that's a key thing.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the late great William Cooper, democracy is like code word for socialism. What the hell is this democracy?
Democracy, mob rule. That's all it is. It's mob rule.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, that's it.
Thank you, Fred. Much appreciated, sir. Let's go to Ken in Bloomfield. How we doing, Ken?
Hey, how you doing? To answer some of your questions on that teacher problem.
Yes.
So they get the kids that really don't belong in a lot of classes, as you said, where the outburst guy.
Yeah.
But what happens is they have kids like that are depriving because the administration won't put them anywhere else because they don't want to. And so they're depriving the kids that want to learn of an education because they disrupt the class all day long.
Right.
My daughter's a counselor at a school in Bridgeport currently, but she was a teacher and she was a counselor in Massachusetts up in.
Can you get her, because you said she's a counselor and she's dealt with this. can you ask her to call in if possible, or at least give you some information so I can understand it? Here's the things that I want to understand. And I think you laid it out because it's your daughter, but you said the disruptors are in essence cast aside because that's what the special needs or the special education kids are doing. It's sort of like putting them in a rubber room in a sense, right?
But it's hard to do that. In other words, the rules, the state rules won't allow that. So they want the disruptors in the class with the people that want to learn.
Right.
So this disruptor will be causing outbursts and throwing chairs and everything else. So they take them out. Well, now the teacher got to waste time to do that. By the time they do, the class is over.
So in essence, but what I feel like is what the special education program just kind of turned into a babysitting operation for the disruptive kids.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
Oh, man. That again, if you could ask her if she'd be interested, I'd be very, very I would love to get her perspective. Like I said, I don't understand the special education program because I know from everything I'm hearing, it sounds nothing like it did when I was a kid.
No, when we were a kid, they had the kids like what you said.
Yeah.
In a class.
Yes.
With the kids that were
developmentally challenged, Down syndrome. Yes, all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were all in a class. Now they want to put them all with the general population.
Yeah.
But they're not ready for the general population, so they cause a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And deprive the kids that want to learn of learning because they waste half the class up every time with all their issues.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Simsbury Joe. What's going on, big guy?
Hi there. With your permission, can I talk about something a little bit different?
Sure. Actually, you know what? Go ahead. What do you got? You get all the permission in the world, Joe.
Thank you. See, yesterday I called Tom's show. I was very angry. I'm every bit as angry today because the USAID information that's come out that's proven that USAID funded COVID.
Yes.
Which killed millions of people worldwide.
To the tune of 48 million?
Yeah, we're finding out stuff not even every day. It's almost every 2 hours, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The latest one is that USAID was funding the BBC to run anti-Trump and anti-Musk information.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, okay, did the world stop and I missed it?
No.
It's like, folks, this organization that feels that they're not responsible to report to the American people, nor are they fully responsible to the American government. They're a group of globalists, killed millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were finding out every 2 hours all the other crap that they've done, Peruvian transgender opera or comic books or whatever, and all this other stuff.
But Joe, can I tell you why? Do you understand why there has been no real outrage from the media, with the exception of Fox News and of course alternative media, right? It's because when you see Chris Murphy out there on every mainstream news outlet, legacy media outlet, the outrage must be focused on what Chris Murphy is screaming about and not what we exposed in USAID. It cannot be about that. It's got to be about the other stuff because, again, the administrative state must be protected no matter what. I'm doing a whole thing about this, by the way, tomorrow because I'm getting all of the ridiculous amounts of money in all of the programs that they're doing it because we're going to do the whole Whack Job Wednesday thing tomorrow. But that you're absolutely right. Is that these guys are on a front, or they're doing a united front, making sure that they are distracting everybody from what's being exposed at USAID. And I would say, like you, let's stop focusing on the transgender comic book. We need to be focused on what you just talked about, and that's the amount of money, $48 million, that went to the Wuhan lab for COVID research. That's the stuff we need to be focusing on.
I'm happy this stuff is coming out.
Yeah.
But it actually has me very concerned because what we're actually watching right now is the true destruction of the criminal deep state. And I don't believe personally that they're going to sit around and take it.
No, yeah, no, they got to
see
fight
how
back.
they can. There is so much more to come out.
Oh, yeah.
And we need to tell them, sit the hell down and shut the hell up. Because
Joe, let me go to the top of the hour. I got you, buddy. Let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91, delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, slowing 27 down to 28. More slow traffic as you move between 20 and 19 as you move Middletown into Meriden. Northbound 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Winter. Westbound 84 tied up, approaching the Boca Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound delays as you move up on 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound's a little slow from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge as you head into South Windsor. 2 eastbound looking good, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Westbound 84 losing some speed between 26 and 25 in Waterbury on the westbound side of 84. South 95 in New Haven, you've got delays from exit 46 down to exit 43. We have an accident reported there, and also some slow traffic in Brantford 95 south from 55 down to exit 54. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 4/5. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
WTIC
Well,
weather.
the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy and turning colder as the clouds give way to some sun, the high 43. Breezy and much colder tonight with increasing clouds, the low down to 15. A colder day on tap for Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, the high of 31. Then snow, sleet, and freezing rain Thursday morning with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation and occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon, a high of 34. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Before Governor Lamont presents his budget address tomorrow to a joint session of the legislature, State Senate Republicans are proposing tax cuts. Senator Ryan Fazio of Greenwich calling for an income tax cut in the new budget.
In the short run, that means a 1% and 0.5% income tax cut for lower income and middle income residents in the current biennium, financed by a wage freeze on state workers for 2 years.
Now, the State Workers Coalition, CBAC, opposes that wage freeze, saying the state needs true progressive revenue changes. Republicans want to cap property taxes at 2% and eliminate unfunded mandates on cities and towns. Republicans figure their cuts would save the average family about $1,000 a year. Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff says Republicans are talking about tax cuts primarily benefiting the wealthiest residents. Lamont municipal and state education officials unveiled a proposal this week to spend a total of $54 million over that 2 years on special education costs. The Connecticut Conference of Municipalities and the Connecticut Education Association put out statements following that announcement saying it's a start but not nearly enough. CEA President Kate Diaz says that's when you factor in costs that can run $100 million and beyond.
$40 million is a nod in the right direction, but will need to be added to. If we're serious about helping the special education students in our state, and we're serious about supporting their education, we have to be serious about the numbers we put in line.
He was a guest on WTIC's Brian and Company. President Trump has welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to the White House. The ceasefire with Hamas sure to come up.
Here in Israel, the families and most of society at large are desperate to see more hostages released, many of them crediting Trump for making this deal possible.
CBS's Chris Libsey in Tel Aviv. Trump's pick to be Director of National Intelligence is a step closer to being confirmed by the full Senate. Here's Allison Keyes.
Tulsi Gabbard cleared the key Senate Intelligence Committee in a vote behind closed doors, but faces strong opposition from Democrats. There are questions over her past comments sympathetic to Russia and her meeting with the now deposed leader of Syria. She is a former Democratic congresswoman who ran for president in 2020.
Southington police are charging a man with impersonating an officer. They say on Sunday, just before 4 p.m., they were called to the Stop and Shop on North Main Street on a report of a verbal disturbance between two patrons in the parking lot. 43-year-old Seth Tishner of West Hartford allegedly identified himself as a Southington officer, providing a badge number to further identify himself. He left the scene by the time the real police showed up. He's later arrested, charged with breach of peace, as well as impersonating a police officer. Bond set at $50,000. He's due in court a week from Friday. For the next few months, taxpayers will be filing their state and federal returns. To start, make sure you have all your important documents like W-2s on hand, says Sarah Spodek, the director of the tax clinic at Quinnipiac University. She also advises to bear in mind a freeze on IRS hires. For example, that means getting someone on the phone for assistance could take a while. Spodek says it's best to file electronically and as early as possible, and if you can't file on time, just file an extension.
An extension is automatic up until October, and all of the IRS free file and direct file programs actually will work electronically for free through October 15th. So if you need to, you can file online.
Deadline to file your taxes is Tuesday, April 15th. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 134 points today. The NASDAQ up 262, and the S&P gained 43 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men.
Woman.
I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues. Today I want to talk about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Northeast Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your love life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't... Visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
5 o'clock focus on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Reese on the radio. Don't forget, also coming up is our last but not least call of the day, where you could win a dozen bagels for a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. You get the chance to do that. And don't forget, we also got coming up the bagel joke of the day. 5 o'clock focus question is, now, again, I thought about this on a lot of, who's your oldest friend? Who is your oldest friend? Does anybody ever have an old friend? Let me ask Roland. Roland, who is your oldest friend? And when I say oldest, meaning the most years consistently, this person has been your friend, your boy, your compadre. Who is your oldest friend? How many years and who are they? You have to think about this?
No, because I have 2 friends.
Okay.
One, has been my friend since I was 13.
Wow. Okay, that's a considerable amount of time.
But we don't,
you don't communicate often?
We're not as close as we once
Then
were.
he doesn't count.
And then my other boy, but I was in his wedding recently. So.
Oh, okay.
And then my other boy, we've been friends for the last since 2005, so 20 years.
Okay, so 20 years. And you see him consistently?
Yeah, we talk every day.
Okay, so that's what I would consider when I say your oldest friend. So somebody that you see consistently. So 20 years. Okay, good. That's a good amount. Because somebody you've known and you've been back and forth with them and you kind of call each other casually. When I say old, like somebody, I don't have any. I gotta be honest with you, I don't.
That's sad, man.
No, it's not for, listen, it's for no reason other than the fact that I'm horrible at it. I am. I'm really horrible at it.
Yeah, you probably don't reach back out.
No, not
You
interested.
Don't answer texts.
No.
Don't share memes and make jokes.
Nope.
See that? Then that's
no, I am awful at it. I am. It's like, you know what it is? I'll tell you why. It's just like when the Reverend called me up for the bacon and eggs. That's the reason why I don't have friends. Because I always, when people call me, I know they want something. And I know that sounds horrible.
Well,
it sounds horrible to say
that's
that.
part of it, because sometimes they need something, you got them. Sometimes you need something, they got
They
you.
never have me. Never. All of them bums. I told you I attract losers. It's just because I'm telling you, it's a curse. It's a curse. Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, your oldest friend today, somebody you see consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Your oldest
Dennis.
friend, Dennis?
Dennis.
And how long have you known him? I mean, how many years?
1971. It
Holy
was in
moly.
September of 71. Yeah.
Since
yeah,
19
we met. We both started at this school together. This new school for both of us. We both had moved that summer, and we didn't know anybody, and then we just ended up, becoming friends, and we've been friends ever since.
That's
And I'm gonna see
53
him-
years at best.
Yeah.
And
out
you
in the
saying this
playground.
is somebody you see consistently, like
Yeah, I'm going to see him for the Super Bowl on Sunday. He's coming over. So
53.
He
Damn,
just
you got
retired. He just retired too.
You got us all beat, dude. I don't think anybody knows anybody that long. I just don't.
I think so. I think in our audience, definitely.
Mark,
I think
tell
our
him he
audience-
needs a friend. He at least
You
one.
do need a friend, Reese. Come on. What's this loner thing all about?
It's not a loner thing. I'm telling you, everybody who ever calls me who wants to be my friend always needs something. And a friend in need is a pest.
But people like you, so you could have friends if you
They
want.
seem to like my money. I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah, there you go. No, Dennis doesn't reach into my pocket, so I'm lucky in that sense.
There you
But
go.
If you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, we got some delays eastbound side of 84, approaching 46th Avenue, down to the Bulkley westbound 84.
Sad.
Up to 47 Secretary, southbound 91 delays 33, and Hartford down to 32 A and B, another bump down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line. Northbound 91, that's moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 eastbound's a little slow. I-91 over to the Bissell. 2 eastbound's moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, some slow traffic approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Cheshire, you've got delays 26 to 25 in Waterbury. And if you're traveling 95 south in New Haven, you've got delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
I'm breezy and much colder tonight with increasing clouds, the low down to 16. A colder day for us on Wednesday with the high only 30. Then Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, the low down to 17. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain in the morning on Thursday with 1 to 3 inches, then occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon. Roads could be messy for the morning, the high of 34. Windy on Friday with clouds and sun, the high of 38. Currently, it's 35 in Bristol, 34 in Waterbury, 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. It's winter, and we need to keep our crews busy, so ask us about our winter specials. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Traffic on I-84 in Hartford keeps on moving slower. But at Columbia Implant Center, we're only getting faster, providing you with specialist care assisted by cutting-edge technology. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Here we go.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
Of course, you can talk about anything you want to during the 5 o'clock focus, but my 5 o'clock focus is about friendship. And again, I think personally, I've been burned so many times with friendships, and I really do believe that I attract bums. At least I used to. And it's kind of like I haven't really reached out. I've got some new friends now that I'd like to give props to. I consider Craig in the car is a friend. Rama is a friend. These guys never, ever hound me or harangue me about money. In fact, they're huge supporters, so I never give them any crap. Michael B., I consider him a friend. There's a lot of people who I consider. Sokolowski, the scallywags. They're good people, scallywags. That's why I totally respect them. All right? They never, ever bother me about money or finances or trouble that they're into. They don't call me about their relationship issues either. I'm happy about that. It's always about news and views. That's why they're good people. Let's go to the phones, 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Larry in Wallingford. How we doing, Larry?
I'm doing just fine. Before your 5 o'clock focus there, which is to me kind of hilarious because I don't have a lot of good friends either, or friends to be actually, since I retired. It's
there you
amazing.
go.
But anyways, that education thing.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I taught as an instructor at a major utility that most of the Democrats in this state do not like, and as a matter of fact, they taxed excessively back a few years ago, and it's still going on. But anyways, I was an instructor there with a federal certification for about 20 years.
Right.
When I retired, I offered to substitute teach.
Okay.
At any one of the schools here locally, and I originally lived up in Wyndham, for nothing. Just something to do.
You offered so you were literally going to volunteer your time.
Yes. I was told because I don't have the right degree or the right experience to teach. After teaching for almost 20 years, again, I can't name the place.
Yeah. Not really important. But in essence, you were teaching something that was a useful tool for people.
Teaching adults.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. The fact that you can teach adults anything, you were going to give what would only be considered adult education to people. What was it? Were you going for the high school ranks or younger?
I didn't care.
Okay, you did. So any job.
Either in tech schools or the regular, what I call the regular high school.
Right.
Now, I have two kids that were teachers. One of them is now an administrator, and the other one is still a teacher. Both of them have the special degrees for all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I did not have the certificate.
Wow.
I couldn't teach in Connecticut. So that's number one. Number two is there's more than me out there.
Right.
That's willing to do this. There's a lot of us out there that are retired that be more than willing to share our time and experience with anybody.
Yeah, because in essence, you're helping not only your fellow man, but you're contributing in a way that, it's absolutely invaluable. These kids can learn a hell of a lot through guys like you. Real world experience, for that matter.
But I can tell you right now, the schools are not interested in people like me.
You're right.
And I've approached more than one school on this and more than one county. in the state. I was willing to travel to do this. So, anyways, that's besides me.
Yes.
You talk about special ed.
Yes.
Special ed is one thing that pisses me off more than anything else. It's a state law. And in the county that I moved from, Wyndham, 50% of the students in the high school in Wyndham are special ed because they can't speak English. That's the only reason.
And that you're right, because the girl Alicia Ortiz that we're talking about, the lawsuit, somebody mentioned her earlier. She was in a special education class because she couldn't read, and she barely spoke English.
So, going back to, we have people coming into this country that do not speak our English, whether legal or illegal. I don't really differentiate between the two, because everybody has their own thing.
I got you.
Okay. But what drives me crazy is we're now spending our tax dollars, the people that actually pay taxes in this state, educational taxes in this state, is now paying for people that do not live in this country,
or pay into
legally.
the system, or pay into the
Or
system.
pay into the system. Well, they might. I will not take
Nah,
that away
if they're
from them.
illegal, they can't pay into the system to at least alleviate your tax burden.
Technically,
How?
It's gray. How? Okay, I'll tell you. I have a very, very good friend who's manager for electronics place in Hartford.
Okay.
50% of their people are here illegally under one Social Security.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Damn.
And I grew up in Wyndham, so I kind of know quite a few of and I'm going to be called racist for this, but they're Spanish.
It doesn't matter. So what? Look, you're not racist. Listen, you're not racist because they all happen to be one race. You're not the racist here.
Okay. But I get called that because I don't call them the right names.
Oh.
So
I don't
but
know if you
anyway,
know what that's
on
about.
this the special ed, if you look at, the schools cannot predict what their special ed budget is every year.
Right.
Because they don't know who's moving in.
There you go.
You could have one student move in with a $200,000 price tag.
Maybe that's what
Now,
we should do.
You're talking about $100,000 being average.
Larry, you know what we should do? In fact, I'm going to see if I can talk to Mark Fitch about this if he's interested. Maybe that's what we need to learn. If we've got $54 million that Lamont wants to allocate towards a special education in this state, and we have 92,000 special education kids, how about we find out how many of them are illegal or who are Spanish or other language learners? Because that's a key component into, again, the tax burden on nutmeggers. Because if you really think about it, people should be able to respond to the fact that he wants to allocate $54 million, which in essence is only going to fall on the laps of taxpayers who, again, don't have children in that program, and other people who, in essence, are getting taxpayer dollars and haven't earned it. So that's a good point. Larry, thank you for the call, man. Good. Last thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll call. Oh, okay. One more thing.
Yes, sir.
The last thing is, if you ask all the Democrats out there whether they're paying for any illegal people in the country, and they say no, it's a flat-out, provable lie.
Indeed. You're 100% right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Let's go to Dave in Ellington. How we doing, Dave?
Reese.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a personal question.
Go for it.
How old are you?
55.
And you don't have a best friend?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's not. I have friends. Don't get me wrong. But
no, I understand you have friends. Reese, there isn't one person you've dealt with in your entire life
that I depend on.
You guys are like thicker than blood.
No, I just don't. I don't know why. I just don't. Yeah, see, Lori's in the chat room saying, yes, you do, your wife.
Let me tell you something. My best friend lives in South Carolina.
Okay.
His daughter is my goddaughter.
Okay.
I've known him since the age of 10.
Wow.
We used to sleep over. I used to sleep over at his house, and we used to sneak whiskey out from underneath the cupboard of his parents.
At 10 years old?
No, we were like 11 or 12.
Okay, 11. Oh, so sorry. my mistake.
But I'm just telling. It's like, dude, I can't. I just don't understand it.
It's because I used to look. I had one friend, Jamie Montgomery. I had one friend, Jamie Montgomery, since the 6th grade. He and I were friends, like literally until we were in our 30s. Okay, from when I was 12 to when we were in our 30s. And then we went up, he got married and I got married, and then we went on about our separate ways. And I just never really had
we did the same. Yeah, but we did the same thing.
I just never really kept it in front of those people. I had a life to live. I had things that I was moving and shaking. It seemed like everybody else was.
I understand that, and that's what he did, and that's what I did, and we went on our ways. I got divorced. He got divorced.
He was costing me too much money. Damn it, Dave. That's just the thing. You listen to me. He was costing me too much money. Every day, every time we went someplace, I was literally the guy holding the bill. I was always holding the bill.
Hey, you got the cash, right? You got the money. You paying, right? Yeah, it's on you, right?
He left it on me all the time.
I invited you to this, but you're paying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dave. Oh, my goodness. That's how bad it is. That's how bad I had to deal with it. Let's go to Dave in Brantford. What's going on, Dave?
Oh, I'm up?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Brief comment on Larry, who wanted to volunteer teach.
Yes.
I'm the same thing. I'm in my 70s. I've got a lot of science background. I wanted to volunteer in the public schools. Science specialty, maybe give a 1 or 2 hour lecture to a couple of science classes.
Yeah.
You can't break in. You got to get fingerprinted, spend $75 at the police station, background checked. And I wasn't sure if I had the cojones to be a full-time sub. I just wanted to give an hour lecture for the science kids.
Right.
What happened is the Catholic schools would.
Hold on. We lost him. Where's Dave? Sorry. Dave, there you go. Sorry.
Okay. Did I get the first part of it out?
Yeah, you said the Catholic school right there.
Yeah, they would allow me. You'd get to know my Catholic school is K through 8.
Uh-huh.
You get to know the teachers. If you know a subject that she thinks that they're all she's, their kids need to know more about, they have been happy to come in and tell them about whether it's nuclear energy or chemical bonds. So that's a good place to, if you want to volunteer and give back. This is a wonderful place. The Catholic schools are open to it, and the public schools are not.
Damn.
And the other thing, I've had a friend for since '66, so it's more than 60 years now that I've known him.
You're close, right? Like you call each other regularly.
Yes. Every Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, all the weddings, all the funerals, we're all together. The hard thing is, along the way when he got married, and my girlfriend and wife, he was a friend of mine before I got married, but my wife became part of the family group. But he got married late in life, and his wife, I think she's always a little bit skeeved by us because we know half of this fellow's lifetime before she was part of the family. And I don't know if she's jealous, but I don't think she likes that we know things that we did and said and people that we saw.
Dave, let me tell you this. Let me tell you the worst thing Jamie Montgomery ever did to my second wife. He met her for the first time. He first off mentioned that she looked like my first wife. That ticked her off. But then, here was the worst. Jamie Montgomery said to my wife, I've known him since the 6th grade. You're technically a glorified stranger compared to me. He said to my wife.
Well, that is harsh. I mean, I might think that too, but I wouldn't say it out loud.
I know!
And the last thing is, this is not TMI. This fellow is a first-generation Japanese immigrant. He was born in Japan. He didn't get to America until he was in 1st grade.
Wow.
And he has no accent. He has no accent whatsoever. He is completely ethnic, as per my family.
Yeah, I hear
all
you.
The holidays we've been together over the years. He is an official what I am, and so it's just a crapshoot. Just somebody who, by the dint of time, has become a best friend over the years. He never insults me, never pulls jokes on me. He did borrow money once, which was a minor conflict with my wife. That 2008 financial meltdown, he needed to borrow $600 for a brake job on his car, which we didn't think was a good idea because he leased it, and they repossessed it with the expensive brake, and he was slow paying it back. And my wife was really ticked that him and his wife would go out to see those movies when we ourselves did not.
Ooh.
one of those little, it's just a
Yeah.
pimple on your
Hey,
butt,
that's
but
a,
it's
you know
nice.
what? That's the testament to a true friendship that you can go through that kind of up and down and still come out on the other end. So that's a good deal. Thank you,
for letting
Dave.
me on. Bye.
You got it, sir. Always appreciate it. We'll come back with your calls. Felicia, don't you go anywhere. You seem like a new caller. I like new callers. Stick around. We got more news and more views. And, of course, the 5 o'clock focus. We got bagel jokes. We got the last but not least caller coming up, brought to you by Between Rounds. Now let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy? None.
What?
I got none. Can't depend on them either.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again some slow traffic 27 down to 28. Northbound 91 moving.
Can't believe his wife was mad over $600.
Yo, I've had women mad over more than that, buddy. Or less than that, I should say.
That's crazy. That's your best friend. He needs some brakes. $600 that's nothing.
Yo, my second wife is still asking me about the $700 I lent to Derek back in 2005.
That's crazy.
In New Britain, westbound.
You know what though? That does sound about right because my wife is she'll spend it on anything she wants to, but anything else is like pulling teeth.
Yo, my ex-wife flipped on me because I bought a coworker breakfast once.
Traffic in
A guy. I paid for breakfast in the morning. She lost it on me.
For the rest of our Tuesday
I
afternoon.
don't understand it.
Turning
Nor
colder
do
as the
I.
clouds give way to some sun, the high 43. Breezy and much colder tonight with increasing clouds, the low down to 15. A colder day on tap for Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, the high of 31. Then snow, sleet, and freezing rain Thursday morning with 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, and occasional rain and drizzle in the afternoon, a high of 34. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Norwalk police have released an update on an incident in which a man was struck by a police cruiser while riding a bike. This occurred Monday evening around 6. Detective was headed to a call eastbound on Connecticut Avenue. That's when officers say a bicycle operated by Manuel Bonilla Gomez collided with the unmarked police cruiser. Bonilla Gomez died as a result of the collision. That crash remains under investigation. Ordinance Committee in Bristol meeting at this hour, in fact, to further discuss the prospect of putting red light cameras at certain city intersections. The city and police officials have said one of the chief complaints they receive regards speeding vehicles and other dangerous driving at city intersections. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has cleared his first hurdle to become the nation's top health official. Senate Finance Committee voted to advance his nomination today. Another Senate committee did likewise, advancing Tulsi Gabbard's nomination as President Trump's Director of National Intelligence. FBI agents who participated in the investigations related to President Trump have sued over Justice Department efforts to develop a list of employees involved in those inquiries that agents fear could be a precursor to discipline or termination. And Senate Republicans, lawmakers unveiled sweeping tax relief proposals at the state capitol today, one day before the governor unveils his 2-year budget, which he will do at high noon on Wednesday. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 134 points. NASDAQ gained 262, and the S&P was up 43. NBA tonight, the Celtics are in Cleveland to take on the Cavs. That should be a good one. And the Knicks are in Toronto to face the Raptors. NHL tonight, Bruins host Minnesota. Isles are home to Vegas. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, everybody, Tom Shattuck here. This Sunday is the big game. Don't blame me. This would be much easier if I could just say this has finally come. Parties, football, libations, food, all the festivities we welcome every February. Question is, what if you're trying to lose weight but still enjoy watching this with friends? The answer? Nothing. As I've told you before, Awaken 180 is built for real-life scenarios. The reason I lost my 80 pounds, the program works. And another thing that's really important to me, this is not a big pharma experimental serum that you're taking or anything. There's no syringes involved. This is just good natural eating. Eat wings and meatballs while watching the Super Bowl. Have a beverage while betting on the Super Bowl. Live your life while enjoying the Super Bowl. I think you get the point. Whether you're in the weight loss phase or in free lifelong maintenance, Awaken 180 won't get in the way of enjoying the big game. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. 844-346-1800.
Success is big
Minute.
for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply by February 12th and save with no application fee. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. Application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
I still don't know what had happened was.
What had happened was.
Yeah.
What had happened was.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app. News Talk 1080 WTIC. What had happened was, I began the show talking about grifters and people in the business or the interest of being these so-called civil rightsers who in essence are doing nothing more than fleecing the public, especially white people wishing to assuage their guilt or to keep the pitchforks and the torches from the front of their lawn. And look, I know that I belabor this a lot, but it irks the hell out of me because a lot of people ask the question, it's like, Reese, why does it always have to be like this? And I'm like, it doesn't. It doesn't always have to be like this. But there isn't anyone who is willing to stand up or to stand up to these people. And I love standing up to them. One, aside from the fact that I'm not afraid, but I know these people are soft, and let me put it so because I know they're listening, especially some of my detractors. Let me tell you, because I know you soft, son. I know you got no backbone. I know that you got a yellow spine, and I know that you will never ever come for me. I know that you try, but I dare you to. You're cowards. You're afraid to confront me. And it isn't because I have any powerful people behind me. I've got no money behind me. I got no billionaires. I've got no press. I've got nothing. All I got is this microphone. And Roland. Okay, maybe Roland. I got Roland. At least I got him. But I come here, when I come here pushing weight, I push my own weight. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like bullies. I never have. And I talked about Curtis earlier. Curtis really inspired me. That kid, I got beat up in school. I was bullied as a kid. I was, cornflake. I tell you the story all the time. And Curtis was my hero because he didn't do what he could have done. And that was ride with the gang members, ride with the bullies, ride with the jocks, ride with the cool kids. He was the dude that everyone was afraid of. And he used his powers for good. He saw the weak kid. He saw them and how they were afraid to go to school, especially the freshman kids. And he knew that those kids they didn't know what they were getting into. And Curtis was there for them, and he protected them. And if anybody looked at them sideways, Curtis would break them in half. And I loved that about him. We could have been friends, but I don't do friends. I made that clear. But nonetheless, I wish I could find Curtis. If I could, I'd bring him on the show just to praise him because he deserves praise. And he inspired me. And I see people do that. I see people use their weight, and now they're using their color, and now they're using civil rights, and they're using slavery and all types of things to bully people who don't know what to do with themselves. And I refuse to stand. I refuse to stand down for that. You know, evil persists when good men do nothing. I just can't. I can't. And I don't do it for any glory. I get no paycheck for that. I do that for free. Because you're soft, son. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese. Thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you are on the southbound side of I-91, just a little slow traffic now as you move 33 down to 32 A and B, and slowing again down by exit 28 on the Hartford-Weathersfield line. Looking at the travel, northbound 91 looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is running slow, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic in Hartford, 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet at Middletown, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. We have an accident on the right shoulder right at the end of the parkway, northbound on 15 in Meriden, just prior to 68 and a little bit of a delay with that. Westbound 84 slowing in Cheshire, 26 to 25 in Waterbury on the westbound side of 84. And if you're traveling into New Haven, southbound Parkway delays 61 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Breezy and much colder tonight, increasing clouds, the low down to 16, and a mostly cloudy day. Colder overall for us Wednesday with a high of 30. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, the low down to 17. Then snow, sleet, and freezing rain on Thursday morning with 1 to 3 inches, then occasional rain and drizzle during the afternoon. Roads could be pretty slick during the morning, the high of 34. Then windy with a mix of clouds and sun Friday with the high of 38, but a strong west-northwest wind going to make it feel like it's a lot colder. Right now, it's 33 in Bristol, 30 in Waterbury, 34 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
At Joe the Plumber, we know that toilets and sinks always pick the worst times to act up. That's why we promise fast, friendly, reliable service. The friendly part is about you, not the plumbing. We're going to get medieval on that. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
No,
Hair
Rama,
Volume
I did
is
not.
the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Paid for by government.
1 minute.
Time to fill your vault with Yes, Morgan sir. Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Call
Michael
now
B.,
to secure
you're a
1
mess.
ounce silver bars, minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. Don't miss out on this special deal. Regularly priced at $49.95, but for a limited time, only $39.95. Save $10 per silver bar. Limit of 25 bars per customer. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $250 in savings and free shipping on every order. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value free. Call 1-800-386-7195 now to secure your 1 ounce Morgan Silver Bar.
Here we go.
$39.95. That's 1-800-386-7195.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back, folks. News Talk 1080 WTIC. And as promised, because, you know, you missed it, and I know you missed it. Don't act like you didn't. I know you missed it. It's the bagel joke of the day, and I'm going to get a promo for that, too. A bagel joke of the day. Yesterday, I did not give one, so you have to give two. So, Roland, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the bagel joke of the day?
I guess.
Okay. What is a camper's favorite bagel? A camper. Somebody, goes out in the wilderness. A camper's favorite bagel.
I don't know.
A Winnebago. Okay, you'll definitely like this one. This is the second one. Okay. What do you call a Jamaican bagel? A Jamaican bagel.
I don't know.
A cinnamon bagel.
Oh.
I'm applauding myself. I don't care. A cinnamon. Cinnamon. What, man? You don't like me joke, man? That's a good joke. I don't care. It's a good joke. Let's go to my good friend Matt in Bristol. How we doing, buddy?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. If you ever tell me my jokes stink again, we're gonna have words because wow.
Listen to me. They're supposed to be horrible.
Well, you hit the mark.
I appreciate it. Longest friend you had, Mike. I'm sorry, Matt. What's the longest friend? Seriously.
Well, I'm 47. My longest friend is probably like 42 years.
Wow.
And most of my friends are 30 plus years.
Okay.
I only have a few that are less than that. And I'm surprised with you. Like, I would think you would have lifelong friends. You're a way nicer person than I am.
I really do, but I think it's because of, I think it has a lot to do with this medium, with talk radio. Is that in essence, it's my business to talk. So I meet people and I kind of meet them in passing because it's really, really hard to hold on to relationships because I have so much stuff going on. And as Roland mentioned earlier, I don't really do a lot of follow-up. I try with you guys. I mean, I follow up with you, Michael B., Craig. You guys, contact me here and there on Facebook and we chat a little bit. But I'm really, really not good corresponding back and forth. I try to, but it's not. I'm not good at it.
Well, I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I just assume you're busy. Like, I mean, if you don't get back to me, I just assume you're like. When you do get back to me, I'm actually kind of shocked. I'm like, wow, he's really busy. That was kind of nice of him to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Ask Mark in West Hartford. He'll tell you. It's like, he'll call me and he'll be like, yo, dude, I know you're busy. I'm like, yeah, definitely am. So I try to be, I'm trying to be better, but it's really difficult. So.
But what about like the people that you grew up with? I'm not talking about people you met on the radio.
And
no.
I'm talking
about like people that you grew up with.
No.
And like those.
No, I just know. I outgrew that. I outgrew them, and I'll be honest with you. Any sort of fame, like I've been in and out of the entertainment business, as it were, for so long that once I joined, it was very fair weather. It was like they were only interested when I was either famous or infamous or someone involved, and then when I wasn't doing anything, they didn't really care. If they couldn't really get anything out of it, they showed their true colors, and it made me very reluctant to make friends. So I just stopped.
And no one from your, like, see, it's so weird. Like, I've been up through ups and downs with all my friends over that long period of time. Sometimes they're up and I'm down. Sometimes I'm up and they're down. And that's just the way it is. But that never mattered. I'm just shocked.
I'll put it to you this way. No one has ever, I kind of feel like no one's really, really made the effort with me when I have. And I just kind of like left it at that. And I said, okay, I'm cool. I just learned to be, I learned to be kind of alone and be good with that. I don't want to make this about me though. Sorry. Anyway, it sounds weird talking about it, but let me move on. I got a whole bunch of people to get into, Matt. Thank you. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. How you doing, Joe?
Hello. I got an inside scoop for you on the Doge with Elon Musk.
What do you got?
Guess what institution he has his eyes on pretty soon?
Aside from the Board of Education?
No, it's been in the works for decades, but they've never gotten around to it. The U.S. Postal Service.
No. Well, you know what? That's been a bone of contention since the Reagan administration. So that's interesting. It's interesting you say that.
Well, they're running deficit every year in the billions now.
Yeah.
I happen to know a lot about the inside of that organization. I was part of it a long time before I retired. in Hartford. And let me just say, you have the Montauk Chronicles. I could come out with the Hartford Post Office Chronicles, and it would be really something to read. It would be quite a
The post office. I know a couple of people who work in that industry, very high up. In fact, right out of the D.C. area, they're very close friends of mine. And
well, you talk about DEI hires. The Postal Service just became all of that.
Ooh,
and when you have DEI people in management, they only hire DEI type people, and that's why they lose so much money now.
Joe, you're 100% right.
Like out of there.
You're 100% right, because like I said, I have two people on the inside, very, very good friends of mine. We're not talking about Fairweather. They're very close family friends of mine who, in fact, I was just on the phone with them earlier today, and you're 100% right. It is it's a cesspool of DEI hires over at the post office in Washington. It's really that bad.
Well, top to bottom, they're lucky to have a job and the benefits they get. And the day of reckoning is this year. Now, how soon Musk gets to it, I wouldn't be surprised he takes it over.
Give it a week.
He would just assume the debt. The debt's probably $3 or $5 billion. He'll just assume the debt.
Give it a week, and we're going to find out even worse stuff. But we're going to be actually featuring some of that tomorrow. Let me grab some other people here. Jeff is in Marlboro. How you doing, Jeff?
Yeah, Reese, I'm doing all right. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. What's up?
Yeah, so I was going to talk about something totally off subject.
Go for it.
You know, there's a lot of talk in this state about dropping the car, your car tax payment.
Yes.
But then they claim they're going to make it up with the property tax. So basically, you're just evening out.
Yeah, you're just moving the tax over to something else.
Yeah, but then every single town in this state is pushing big time for affordable housing. So now you got people who are going to move into towns that they didn't live in before, pay no motor vehicle tax, and pay no property tax. And the owners of these either big communities or buildings or townhouses, whatever they may be, are going to get tax breaks, and so that puts even more pressure on us.
Oh, look, I said this before. You know this too. In the tri-state area, Connecticut is considered one of the richest states, maybe just above New Jersey, because New Jersey is, overwhelmingly larger than Connecticut. But as far as finances are concerned, as far as income is concerned, Connecticut is, mega billions in the state in and of itself. So what is it? It's always been, since Malloy, it has always been a tax and spend government in Connecticut. And I can even go a little bit on a rolling years.
If we're so rich, then where does it go?
I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know. And that's why I said this whole thing about the Hartford Courant article about the $54 million. No one is reporting on at least the accounting of what's going on. Thank God for guys like Mark Fitch. These guys are actually bean counting when they do these articles. You got nobody else. All you got is people talking about how much money they need to spend, but no one's talking about where it's spent after it goes belly up or the mission fails. No one is accountable to what happened to the money. We just go right back to, let's spend more.
Yeah, and the roads are going to get used more by people who aren't paying taxes, and it's wear and tear. It's going to all go to hell, and then it's just more tax money on the taxpayers, but there's going to be people moving in.
Yeah, I can't.
Who don't pay taxes.
I got to be honest with you. I can't wait to get to Connecticut. I just can't. I can't wait. You have no idea. Like I said, you have no idea what is going to happen when I get there. You have no idea. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you, buddy.
I heard you talking the other day, and I'm excited. I got a quickie for you.
Real quick.
All right. You ever heard of the band Bad Brains?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think they might have named themselves after what you were talking about last night.
That's a good point. Let me look that up. That's a great point.
Yeah. I was thinking about that today.
Yeah, that is a good point. I need to look that up now. That is a great. I always wondered why they chose that name. I'm really, really into why groups pick their names. Motley Crue's got a funny story, and so do the Commodores. They've got an interesting. Do you know that you remember the Commodores, Lionel Richie's old group?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how they got their name?
No.
The most basic way ever. They dropped a dictionary, and it landed on the page that had the word Commodore. That's how they got their name.
Good thing they didn't land on the page, but.
Yes, one letter, and it would have been all over. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you. Let's give it up for our last but not least caller. Felicia is calling from New Britain. Hello, Felicia. I love that name because everybody likes it when I say bye, Felicia, when I'm talking about Kamala Harris. How are we doing, Felicia? What's going on?
You know, I'm all over the place, but I wanted to start out with a bad bagel joke if you want one.
Of course I do. Are you kidding me? I'm the only person who wants bad bagel jokes in the whole world.
Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
Because and I don't know. Go ahead.
If they flew over the bay, they would be bagels.
I'm giving it to you because I love every variation of that joke.
It's kind of bad.
Remember, that's the whole idea. It's supposed to be bad. It's one of those things. I'll tell everybody, somebody said that pizza is like sex because even when it's bad, it's still kind of good. So, Felicia, is that the only thing you want to call about? Did you have something else?
I just have a short list. I think Caroline Levitt is doing an amazing job.
Yes, she is.
She is just, it's just amazing to watch her in action. I thought I was doing a replay of a video. I thought I had it on playback speed like 1.5, but no, it was just her speaking.
Was that her at the podium breaking down all of the 2 weeks of the Trump administration I
think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing video. Because
it is.
You look at that and you say, and I know that's what every person in that press room was thinking. They were just like, gosh, we had 4 years of nothing even close to these kind of achievements. And it really must wrangle them to some degree that they're taking a victory lap 2 weeks in. It's got to be. So it's one of those things where winning, it's like they're not just winning, they're kind of beating you in the face with the wins at this point.
Venezuela, I didn't know that we had hostages in Venezuela.
Yes.
I thought I kept up with the news, but I really had no idea. And to see the video of them praising President Trump on the way home.
And watching,
it brought tears to my eyes.
It was incredible to watch Grinnell standing next to Maduro and Maduro be so gracious. Maduro's not a nice guy. But to know that the essence of Donald Trump being represented with Richard Grinnell being there, in the way in which he was received, sort of as an ambassador for Donald Trump, was such a sight. Like Maduro is starving his people, and he rules with an iron fist. And then you get an American representative there, and Maduro's running around like a kid saying, anything we could do for the president. And it's like, it shows the kind of power and the might that we have. And it's a beautiful thing to watch in contrast. And I got to say, Caroline Levitt, the reason why people are so awestruck by her is unfortunately because the last two press secretaries were an all-time low on morale. You know what I mean? Jen Psaki and wasn't. So it's like Caroline Levitt could have walked in there with an Etch-a-Sketch and had done a better job than the two of them combined.
And to have Netanyahu here for a week in D.C., meeting with all the different people. He just finished meeting with Trump right now. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Well, wait until Monday, because we're going to have Rob McGreevy from the Daily Caller on the show, and we're going to talk about a lot of the last 2 weeks of the Trump administration, because he's been in D.C., and he's got some incredible news about J.D. Vance.
Yeah. Locally, just some people I've heard on your show, you had Bozie Kimber as a guest recently.
Yes.
So I was a little surprised to hear that. 25 years ago, he was really not very well liked around here. And
No. I don't listen. Don't get me wrong. This is one of those things. This is one of those things where Bozie is going to be useful to the cause of getting the education system in this state turned around. And I know that like I said, I know that people are not fond of him. But like I said, it's Fabulous. The rapper once said, if you can't be used, you're useless. And he is going to be useful. And I know that he will be. I promise you that. I got to go. I got to run, Felicia. But thank you. Felicia, again, is our recipient. We'll put her on hold. Felicia is our recipient of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. Courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Winchester, and Vernon. Let's get to Mark Christopher. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on radio. He is Mark Christopher, who's now going to give you your traffic as we go home. Good night, Mark.
Good night, Reese. I'm working my plan right now. Have a good night. If you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84.
All right, good sir.
Oh, thank you, boss man. Oh, 45 the wrong thing. Why did I do that? Anyway, yes, I will. I'll give you a call in like 5 minutes.
All right, cool.
Okay, thanks, man.
It's quiet 91 northbound, Cromwell up into Windsor Locks, 291 384, no issues. 2 eastbounds in Great Chip, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 84 westbound.
All right, folks, thank you all. Anthony, AK, thank you for getting everybody to check out the show over there on the West Coast. I appreciate you. Samuel, if you are listening, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you as well. Yeah, AK, I was just sending you the article. There's a second article that released today from Josh Rubin talking to Kofor, and that was the reason why I sent it to you. So no, wasn't talking about it. I just wanted to send it to you to let you know that this the story's not over yet, and I'm sure you read the last sentence to the article, and I think that's probably that's the death knell, and I'll just leave it at that. Guys, it is always a pleasure. I will see you back here. Whack Job Wednesday airs tomorrow. Whack Job Wednesday. We're going to talk about USAID and all the money we found and where it's going. So stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss it. I appreciate you. You guys are the best. You know I love you. Holla.